What's your favorite podcast? Or
that One Nation.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better hit it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, that's on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd, and hear me out. Rich Lotto. What's going on, man?
not much, man. Happy Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth. I didn't even put it on the stream. I forgot to even put in like a funny thing at the bottom. I'll figure that out as we go. But yeah, Juneteenth. What is this, the 4th years? I can't remember. What year is this where it's been a national holiday? You got to tell me. I don't know. I can't remember.
I think it might have started in 2022, maybe.
Okay, that could
maybe.
be it. I don't know.
All right, we had a famous clip in 2023 where I advocated, if you wanted to celebrate Juneteenth, give black folks some money. And I want to thank, the people that blessed me already on the Cash App today as our old clip circulated. So, you can, if you would further like to celebrate, the Cash App is on the screen. And indeed, I'm rocking the finest, Kofi, in celebration. This actually used to belong to my dad. And I was like, you know what? We wearing this tonight. So, we got the flags here up, and we have Juneteenth O&R, James. This gotta be,
yeah.
I don't know what we gotta do to make it, really shake here, but we're gonna figure out something.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, man, I'm trying to think. What is your favorite Juneteenth in this early national holiday, in this early history? What has been your favorite day of June 19th since it became a holiday? Do you have any favorite memories so far?
Honestly, not that many yet. I'm still struggling to build traditions.
Yeah.
But
it's also this problem where, like, the things you want to do is like, well, July 4th is right around the corner, and you kind of get, and you got to do, and depending on whoever's in your life, you're like, yeah, we can throw some on the grill, or it's like, no, we only do that on occasion. So, I'm still trying to figure out what to do as far as tradition or whatever else. I might take up this new one. It makes no sense, but like today, I end up going to a Japanese buffet or whatever else and ate ridiculously. So I might try that. Like,
that's
I know
funny. I went to Asian barbecue a little bit earlier. That's like what they specifically marketed as.
Because, like, I will say this, on Christmas, shout out to a certain community. And on Christmas, I go to a Chinese restaurant and eat like a second meal after like the whole family festivities or whatever else. I've been doing that for like about a decade now. So, like, I don't know. I've got to figure out something. Well, I'll try something new until something sticks, I guess, on June 19th every year now. But I think the main thing is like trying to get people together for about almost 2 weeks apart for a cookout. We'll see. Tough. I know some places they down for it. Maybe I just got to move to the right place.
Yeah, you fighting up against 400 years of history, James. Maybe more.
There's that. There's also just I mean, you got to tell me in your neighborhood, right? Or when you was driving about, do you see people cooking, or what do you see?
I didn't really see much going on. I think people waiting for Saturday. Honestly,
that's also true. Like, it's easier on a day like that, on a day on the weekend, than you try to get people there. Than try to turn to a 3-day weekend, and then one of the things about national holidays is a lot of stores still be open for this particular national holiday in a way that, like, most national holidays, they don't be open. So
yeah, I had to work today.
It don't feel quite as special. There you go.
Yeah.
It don't feel quite as special. Not yet, anyway. Maybe one day we'll get there. Maybe.
Yep. So if you have not, if you're listening to audio only, this is worth pulling up the video so you can see the immaculate, like, the patterns, like, in this thing. Just like, I can't really describe it right here. I actually need to make it a little. Goodness. So you just got multiple colors and patterns just all through, and like, this ain't really, like, you can tell, like, it's worn. Like, this thing is, this was not ordered for the occasion. This is like, this has been around
passed down from generations.
From generations. Yes. Literally. So, like, this we're gonna be rocking that all show. So, but yeah, we got some stuff here this evening to get into and all that. I guess, James, we should probably start with those New York Knicks. Yes. They won the NBA championship in the time that we last did a show. I believe that was the 5th game. Was that Sunday night?
Saturday.
Okay.
There were no the way they did the schedule this year. There were no games on Sunday because of the way the travel is set up. Like, everything ended up bouncing to where a day when because of the the 2-2-1-1-1, like, you had days where, like, you get 2 days between for travel. So it ended up where there was no Sunday games on the final. So Saturdays, it was kind of not weird, but it was odd. It just didn't feel right to me watching all these, my whole life, there's always a finals game on a Sunday. Just no.
Yeah.
Most famously, like, we had a fucking finals on a Father's Day,
Yeah. So, Twan Mac, I don't ever want to hear James talk basketball again. LOL, Knicks in 5.
Knicks in 5, indeed.
Seamus Nova, it's all about the Knicks, baby. Immaculate Juneteenth vibes. Talk sweet to us, James. Let us know about them Knickerbockers.
Do people think I hate the Knicks or something? Or are they just talking shit?
I think they think you were mighty dismissive of them. After the first one.
I was. What was the last time we talked? Last time we talked would have been after Game 3, right?
After the comeback. So we talked after Game 1, and then we talked after the comeback.
After the comeback. By that point in time, the Spurs had outplayed them in all but 4 quarters of the series through 3 games.
Yeah, I guess they didn't get the ones that matter.
I mean, no. I mean, me. I've done this, and it's silly at certain points because obviously it don't matter. Like, it's not a boxing. It's not a boxing card. It is, or judging like boxing, it's literally like who had most points at the end of the game. But as I'm evaluating and I'm watching it, like, these are 2 teams that, like, I both like. I don't dislike the Knicks. Knicks play a fun style of basketball. I think I said that last week. I don't know if I did or did not. But I mean, those series they had against the Pacers that they happened to be on the losing side of both the last 2 years before, like,
those were good too.
Those were fun. These are 2 like. My problem was, or not my problem, my issue or my concerns about the Knicks was not about their offense. It was always about, they still have that same fatal flaw that cost them the last 2 years, which is Towns and Brunson and having 2 bad defenders out there for, this era of basketball where eventually somebody gets picked on enough, and the Spurs, for whatever reason, they didn't take advantage of that enough. Now, maybe I think that the problem is people thinking that I was saying this from the perspective of you're not giving Knicks enough credit. Is like, hey man, it don't matter if how do I say this? If the Spurs don't handle their business, who gives a fuck? Y'all champions, and y'all are. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I watched most of the series and saw how I got away from the Spurs. And like, hey man, we've seen teams lose finals that this wouldn't even be the prime example of it. Like, the 2016 Warriors were a better team than the Cavs. The Cavs won the series. it comes down to, hey, if you're a better team, you got to get the job done. Just you're more talented doesn't mean you're destined to win. And even if it's 7 games,
got to line up.
Yeah, like you got to get the job done, right? Like if it came down to just expected like the computers and it comes down to they got a bunch of open shots, you got to knock down the fucking shots. Like the Spurs didn't knock down enough shots. They didn't. They did handle their business. The Knicks did, and quite frankly, what the Knicks had to do against a better defense than what the Spurs are going up against is more impressive to me. The Knicks was out here, they may have started slow, but there's never no point in time where there's all this time in the second half of these games where the offense is sputtering. In fact, in the second half of these games, what was always happening? It was the opposite. This defense I did not think much of kept doing what to this Spurs team with the 7-5 cheat code and the guards that can't shoot.
They kept putting them in weird positions. Like, why are you making these decisions? Like,
right?
There was just a lot of
no matter what was going on with the Spurs. But whatever was going on with the Spurs, right? As far as like what they were doing to at different times defensively, where they looked dominant or whatever else. Ultimately, what it came down to, that defense can be as dominant as it wants to be. You gotta score points, and you gotta stop the other team from scoring. And the Knicks was out here handling their business, and the Spurs were not.
Bro,
so congrats to the Knicks. They wanted more. This is
one of the best playoff teams.
Right, that's getting that. Yep, go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, this is one of the best playoff teams that you'll probably ever see. Like, just you lay it on paper, and it's not gonna knock your socks off. Like, there's a little bit of like 2019 Raptors to them where they're just infinitely deep at every spot, and then it feels like they go 9 deep.
Yeah,
and everyone can shoot.
Except for one, but it don't matter. It's the center.
Who was except Mitchell Robinson? Yeah, except him.
Yeah, but you can do that when you have that much space.
Yeah, that's fine. It don't really matter for him.
I mean, if your worst shooter at any time on the floor is Josh Hart, like from a perimeter shooter is Josh Hart, like, yeah, you got 3 guys that can shoot, so it don't matter if you got Mitchell Robinson because he's in the dunker spot.
Josh Hart, born to be an all-time glue guy from the moment he's been in the league. Yeah. I remember I was like, he's 6'4". Why the fuck does he have 14 rebounds? Like when he was a baby Laker.
Why does he have 5 offensive rebounds and a half? What happened here?
Right. So like he's been a winning player forever. Yep. Jalen Brunson.
A lot of those Lakers. The Lakers teams before LeBron got there that post Kobe or whatever else, like most of them have had interesting careers. Most of them have all found success in the league. The thing that I have questions about is like what they would have. Their individual traits seem to be more productive than they would have been together. Like I don't know what a team where the 2 best players are like Julius Randle and Brandon Ingram taking you, but Brandon Ingram. He's a regular season all-star. Randall, he's a problem when it comes to the postseason, but he's a good player. All-star, I think, multiple times at this point in time. Josh Hart, been on a bunch of winning teams. Caruso, won 2 titles, was on a West Conference Finals just now. You have a lot of guys that have some history, and in a way, it's kind of similar to, maybe not to the same extent because they have better players, but like, to that same core you talked about with that 19 Raptors team with like Anunoby around and also with Pascal Siakam, they just. I think it's one of those things where it's like in this league now with the way that teams are, talent is spread around. Like you're going to see more guys that like you're going to see more value in like guys that have been winning players at different stops throughout the career because people are going to have multiple different stops. And it's fun. It's actually going to be fun to see like how many rings these journeymen win now going forward. Like someone like Anunoby, for example.
Bro, I found great joy seeing him and Clarkson going crazy, and it was just like those are my guys. I was watching them 35 win teams, like, and it was really cool. But I wanted to talk about Jalen Brunson, bro. Yeah. 45 most points in a finals clincher since Giannis.
Yeah.
Most percentage of the points, I believe, since Jordan in a closeout game. I think if I got that right.
Yeah, because that's another thing about this is like Game 5 happens and the rest of the other Knicks, they weren't doing shit. And Jalen Brunson, was
He
the only
said,
person
"On my
scoring.
back,
He
boys."
was the only person that was getting buckets throughout the whole entire game. And the fourth quarter happened, and it was like, oh, okay, they can't stop him at all. He's going nuts. And
On my back, boys.
And thinking about like, I mean, we haven't seen a performance from a dude that size and shit, like 88.
Yeah, that it was Tom. You know,
Or
Tunisian.
88 or 87, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's Isaiah Thomas. You know, the way Iverson was scoring in Game 1 of that one series against the Lakers.
What was it, 48?
48.
Yeah.
You know, just like how small that guy is, right? And like he's a made man forever in New York. There's going to be a lot of interesting conversations to be had about his ranking amongst either all-time great players, point guards, bunch of stuff. There's going to be some stuff that I'm sure is going to get people angry.
Did you see Bill Simmons' thing?
I saw a clip. I did not listen to the full show.
I saw the clip and I was like, the names he's putting on it is like, am I going to bother wasting my time going back to be like, what's the context is, why does this make sense or why it don't? Because it don't make sense to me. Like, look, man, 45 to close out your finals to win finals MVP. They ain't gonna never take that from Jalen Brunson. That's as high as you can ask anyone to expect anyone to, or that's higher than you can expect anyone to play to win your team, your city, a tortured city, a tortured franchise, more representative of what I should be saying. Their title, the first title in over 50 years. So that's the high. Put him above Luke is insane. I don't care the context. I don't care the context. Like, bro, Luka Doncic made more first team All NBA. Or let me phrase it. I don't even go to first team All NBA. I'm not even gonna do that. He's finished top 5 in MVP voting more times than Brunson's been an All-Star. Can we relax? Like, it's, bro, the 2024 finals never happened. Like, he wasn't just in the final series ago. But, yeah, man, like, the other stuff, the other people you want to put into, you can have a discussion for that because the high is that high. When it comes to Luka, it's like, yeah, and Brunson is one of the best clutch performers of this era, regular season and postseason together.
I was talking with Finisho. I think he was like trying to slide this Brunson like top 5 or best player in the league stuff by me. I was like, no. I was like, let's relax, brother. I was like, we're going 8 deep, 9, then I'll start hearing you. It's
just lazy analysis because like we've done this whole thing of the best player on the best team or that wins the championship has to be, you know, some form of like top dog superstar in the NBA, and it's like historically yes, in this era not so much, and that's okay. And like it's the same. I mean, think about it. Last year, Halliburton is a tear his Achilles. He plays through that game. Are we gonna start putting like Tyrese Halliburton above like I don't know who? Give me a name.
Chris Paul.
Is he better? Yeah, like is he just better than? Is he just all of a sudden we got to put him as top 5 point? Yeah, is he better than Westbrook off rip because he won a title? And it's like, bro, that's. Are we being honest? Are we being honest here?
The funny thing that I'm finding is like we are a Tyrese Halliburton injury away from like, you know, the East champion packing up either the Thunder or the Spurs both years or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of that is, you know, the leagues are more balanced, or the conference is more balanced now as far as like team wins and losses or whatever else. Like it's more competitive, but you still have this glut of, all right, look at all NBA. Most of the guys still in the West Conference. So how do we square this? And it's like, I mean, yeah, they got bigger stars, but the teams on the East, like the 04 or 24 Celtics, like amazing depth. Last year's Thunder or last year's Pacers.
Oh yeah, take it back.
Amazing depth.
Take it back.
This, this Knicks team, amazing depth. Like they might not have as many, nuclear options at their deployment, but they have so many drones, if you will.
Right. Yeah, like just for I think what people all. Well, I was very happy for Karl Anthony Towns.
Yep.
I've been a fan of his for a long time. Like,
Yep.
always thought he, was kind of got a raw deal.
Because people
a lot of
homophobic.
time. Yeah, I mean, there is.
I mean,
that.
it's straight up. Hey, he has mannerisms that we have deemed feminine, so therefore he must be soft or X, Y, and Z. And it's like that was never the case.
Yeah, he like he
gets to the Knicks and immediately becomes like one of the elite rebounders in the sport. Is like, all right, what part of this quote unquote softness that y'all are dreaming some character flaw on him based off mannerisms has to do with the part where he goes in there and grabs rebounds. Oh, none. We don't even acknowledge that. We just go on with the big purr stuff, huh? Okay, got it.
He moonwalks into the Basketball Hall of Fame now.
Yeah, and then and he also getting punked by the whole Jimmy Butler story when like he's like in his year 3 or whatever. Like, who gives a fuck? Yeah. See, young player that got punked by a vet. Never heard of that happen before. Never heard any stories in sports about older vet guy gets punks young guys in the league or young guy in sports. Never happened. We never had these
was
discussions
all over
about
him for
age.
years.
Yeah,
Bomani was all over him for years. With the tall man stuff, and it's just like, I don't know, man. I like it when people prove folks wrong about them. Like,
I do too. I think people are too easy, or I think it's lazy now just to dismiss people the way that we do. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand why, based off of a lot of the Cavs Warriors 4 finals in a row paradigm that we're living under, where it's like, you got to have one of the best teams ever to even compete with those Warriors, and you still going to lose, and we still going to point and laugh and call you all sorts of losers or whatever else. But the sky isn't that high.
yeah,
You only got to go to the moon to get a title. You ain't got to go to Mars no more.
Yeah, it's just thinking more about the other folks on that roster, like we mentioned Brunson and Towns,
Alvarado,
OG,
another winning player, right? Like
Jose Alvarado. Yep.
First time I ever even saw him was 2001 against, or was it 01 or 22 against the Suns, right? He gave Chris Paul, who was at it's 22. This is like the very last year. Like, this is like the last year when it's like, oh, he absolutely passed his prime now. In 21 was like, when they lost the finals. So the thing was 22 when they struggled like hell to get past them in the first round. And he was giving Chris Paul all sorts of hell, and like, being physical with Chris Paul or giving him fits or picking him up full court, like, that ain't never worked. It didn't work that series either, but like, it's still something it's still something you got to try to do at the margins. And for a first round series with the Pelicans of all teams, it was like, that's interesting that he was able to do that. And you kind of were like,
from New York.
Right, that's what I'm getting. It's like, you wonder, you always got to keep tabs if you love this league of like what guys are capable of when they get the opportunity at certain points, and like where they might end up down the line. And Alvarado's one of those guys where it's like that game 3 collapse is in part because of them. Josh Hart, you got to sit because you're just somewhere that Wembanyama can just hide out on defensively and sag off of. They put him in the fourth quarter. That turned that game. So look, legendary winner at a city that was desperate for a winner.
Josh Hart took number 3 forever from John Starks too. I don't know if you thought about that.
You know what? I saw someone talk about John Starks and the word legacy, and I rolled my eyes. So like, sure, I'm not even gonna get into it because like when I think of John Starks, I'm like, brother, his legacy is in Houston, Texas. It's not New York. So look, Josh Hart, that 3. Look, man, whatever. Look. It was never special to me growing up watching John Stark. So for Josh Hart to have it, whatever, fine by me. When I think of legendary Knicks numbers, I'm thinking of 33. I'm not thinking of 3. Okay, I'm thinking of 11 now. You know what I mean? 11 is a legendary Knicks number. It is officially. Even before this, it was a legendary Knicks number. Number 7. That's a legendary Knicks number. Some of these other ones, I don't know.
Yeah, but congrats to Mike Brown,
Yeah.
Championship coach,
Yes. A coach that got better along the journey, which is something that we can't say for a lot of these coaches that, stick around this long. A lot of them, in fact, they get worse over time, Doc Rivers. But,
crazy.
Yeah, man, like, Mike Brown came into this league as the guy that got LeBron James to first tap into his defensive gifts as a defender and turned LeBron James and molded him into one of the greatest defenders we ever seen at the peak of their powers. And got them to play that kind of hard with that lack of talent for 66 wins, 61 wins. Got old Shaq on a 61 win team, right? Ultimately didn't work out. Ended up becoming an assistant on that Warrior staff. Learned updated offensive depth as a mind. Got those Kings that franchise, got them back into the playoffs as a 3 seed.
Yep.
It was a fun team to watch play. Ultimately didn't win us any they never got to second round, but was a very fun 2023?
23 because Curry went crazy against them.
Very fun team to watch that year. Liked the beam and all that. Ultimately, Domantas Sabonis can't score outside of 12 feet. Didn't work out. Draymond figured that out, and De'Aaron said, basically told us in the way that Mike Brown does, because he's very nice man. I don't know if De'Aaron Fox got it all up there to win to be a real winner on the championship team.
Boy had that King's DNA.
Might have had a point.
Boy had that King. He had that King's DNA deep embedded. That clutch DNA deep embedded in him. Something bound to go wrong once you start getting in bed with clutch sports.
Something bound to go wrong. So that's funny. But anyway,
this inside job that went on to hurt Victor Wembanyama.
Okay, so
Mitch Johnson, De'Aaron Fox. It was one more player. Who was the last player?
Was there a third player?
Yes, there was, because Keldon Johnson, I think.
Yeah, it is Keldon. I think
Keldon Johnson, clutch, launched a 3-prong attack on the legacy of Victor Wembanyama in this NBA Finals. Unbelievable.
That is
unbelievable.
That is hilarious. Now,
disgusting.
I for the Knicks fans, I got shit about. I'm not giving Knicks enough respect apparently, right? Meanwhile, you are launching into full on LeBron James. It's sabotaging Victor Wembanyama. So therefore. So not therefore, but so we ain't gonna pay attention to the Knicks winning the title. We ain't gonna talk about the things that the Spurs did do based off, the backhand, invisible handery of LeBron James and Rich Paul and Clutch Sports to torpedo the next guy. All right, sure. I'm sure they ain't tweeting or messaging you about you ain't giving the Knicks enough credit after that nonsense. No, just me saying the young team didn't play well enough. Okay, all right. Okay.
Oh man. So people very happy in New York. That parade looked amazing. I can just imagine being in New York is probably really fun right now. Everybody's probably really happy before they go back to being miserable at some point. But they're gonna try to make this gonna be a great summer up there. It's gonna be a great summer.
I mean, yes, they will be. Yes, Rich, they will be very happy this summer. And then once the weather changes, you'll go back to being miserable because that kind of weather makes you miserable. So yes,
yeah,
but look, at least when it gets cold this year, they can go and put on they can put on some long clothing that makes them warmer, and it says 2025, 2026 NBA champions, and it makes life just that much better. That's sports. That's sports.
You see, Ben Stiller is already launching a documentary, and I was like, it begins, James. It begins. Get ready. The next 50 years. It begins right here. We're gonna be talking about OG Anunoby was just like Kawhi Leonard. Watch, it's going it's gonna go down. How they be talking about Jerry Lucas and who else? Bill Bradley, all
Phil Jackson, Dave DeBusschere.
Dave DeBusschere. Oh my God, you should have seen Willis. Back in the day. Red Holtzman played it right way. Oh my God, 30 years from now. Oh my God, Jalen Brunson. They can be like Allen Iverson. Who?
Look, this is what I'll say to you, right? I don't know. Maybe you've seen this. Apparently, a lot, or basically everybody except for Kyrie from the 2016 Cavs,
yes,
have linked up together for like a bros trip, right?
Yeah.
And seeing them all together was very fun to see, right? And I'm just thinking to myself, hey.
I realized Kyrie was younger than all them niggas. Like,
yeah, he was. Because all the dudes retired except for LeBron. All the dudes out of the league. But I mean, that's real. Like, you win the championship 10 years later, for the 10-year reunion, all of y'all should be out of the league normally. You just got you just got the anomaly that is LeBron James and then, like you said, young Kyrie, right? But, 10 years from now, 2036, I'm waiting to see the Knicks all get together and link up and do all that kind of stuff and see Josh Hart and the Nova Boys all together and Anthony Towns and Alvarado and Jordan Clarkson, as you mentioned, and Mitchell Robinson still out here trying to act like he ain't he gonna be out here talking about, why don't y'all play some country? Yeah, he's gonna get his MAGA shit out of here. But yeah, man, it's gonna be
Jordan
fun to
Clarkson
see them.
Still have the units in then.
Are those units?
Bro, don't nobody here look like that. Just randomly.
I haven't looked at his hair like that. But, after you was out here for the last, half a decade talking about Jay-Z got an install, are you just running a gag? I didn't know if you're running a gag or not.
Look, when I saw them, I'm like, man, that thing's a little too shiny. Like that, they just looked a little too shiny. I don't know if you grease them up that much.
Okay. All right, well.
I don't know.
Whatever.
He just randomly popped up with those one day.
You get look, whatever.
He's in his 30s, James.
Hey, whatever, champion. Champion! Don't matter, champion! You can do what you can do what you want when you winning. He winning now. It's like I'm a bomb to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm interested to see how these guys link up and do the. I'm not saying this as far as milking it. I don't care. Like, you win a championship, you get to celebrate however you want to, for how long, and whatever else. Like, I want to see the 2006 2008 2008 Celtics, 2006 Heat, 2016 Cavs. I want to see when they all together and they still friends. I want to see that. Like, I think we've gotten so far removed from the part where guys actually are friends together, as opposed to they treat all this shit like, it's just a job. I'll have a million teammates, whatever else, and we win and we move on. Like, nah, man. Like, the league used to mean a little bit more and was more fun when you had teams playing together for a long time together, and they have an identity. You know them as teammates. You felt the bond or whatever. Even if they didn't win. I saw a thing of the Thibodeau, Derrick Rose era Bulls. And they was talking about when they spoiled the Heat's 27-game win streak. And I was like, hey, man. I saw in the replies, y'all some losing.
That was like when Derrick Rose got his jersey retired or some shit, right?
I think so. Right.
Yeah.
And I saw people on Twitter talking about, they never won anything, and they sat here celebrating about being or breaking the Heat's win streak. And I was like, you absolute dorks. This was a rivalry. I understand that it didn't, it wasn't, or they never won, but it's they gave the Heat pure hell throughout the regular season games. They mattered. There were things to tune in to watch at that point in time. Derrick Rose won that MVP, and to watch that in the hard fouls when they were playing each other and stuff that actually mattered. There's a reason why people talk about the 90s. They talk about Reggie Miller in the Garden. It's these two teams have to see each other over and over and over because they're in each other's way and they get on each other's nerves, and you see us versus them mentality when you watching it. That's fun. It didn't work. They didn't beat the Pacers this year because the Pacers were out of it, whatever. But if they had beat the Pacers,
come back,
during this run,
God,
or it would have. If the Pacers come back next year, right? That's a rivalry.
Reggie Miller is gonna be it's gonna be Reggie Miller and Spike Lee all over again.
In a way, it already has been, given what happened in Game 1 of that series last year. Yeah. Rivalries help build this league. Personalities, who you with and who you not with. Choose. Are you Bird? Are you Magic? Are you Coke? Or are you Pepsi? Right? Are you Knicks? Or are you Jordan? Right? Are you Tim Duncan? Or are you Kobe? Are you Steph Curry? Or are you LeBron?
Yeah.
what side of it are you on? You ain't gotta hate him. You ain't gotta hate him. You respect him, whatever else. But the idea that, like, hey man, I want this team to win. This other team cost them. I didn't like that, or whatever else. Or the other way around. Or this team made it hard for this team. They had me sweating bullets while they actually overcame and won this time. That's the fun part, right?
I hate the Sacramento Kings to this day.
And you never lost to them when it mattered. You see what I'm saying? So I want to bring this up. So watching the finals with Caden every game, he was going for the Spurs or whatever else. This is like his first time he ever really got to. You know, Wembanyama's like finally a star that's like somebody he gets to watch his whole career. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like he was really big into Steph Curry and Durant and LeBron, and now that they post, you know, they win in years. Like he's kind of like, you know, he kind of like Jason Tatum or whatever else. I don't know. I mentioned this to you. He was shocked when me and Daniel had to tell him, yeah, man, Nikola Jokic is a lot better than Jason Tatum. He thought that we had two heads. We thought we were aliens lying. Yeah, he thought that we were telling him lies. Like, no, Caden, different level of players. But Wembanyama is like the guy that he recognized. Like, oh, this is what it's like to see someone that's truly special, and like I'm going to get to watch this guy for the next 10 years, 15 years, whatever else. And he really likes Dylan Harper. He was really into the Spurs team. Boy, when after Game 5, when it was going down to
heartbreak.
0, yes, and I was like, in a way. And I had two minds of it. I was like, you know what? I like that he's back, that he's into sports, and he's going to be watching. He's in this thing. Like he's going to be watching this Spurs team for the next few years with interest. For the next few years, for when it comes down to April through June, to see how this roster shakes out, or how this nucleus of young players shakes out. But on the other end, I was like, man, I may have just cursed him. This is what the generational curse of being a sports fan. I've been talking to him like, hey man, I give him a little bit of like the wrestling. I'm like, hey man, you don't want to try. You don't want to go too far into the wrestling thing. That's dangerous. That's a waste of time. Sports is for everybody though. Everybody watches sports.
Seamus,
the wrestling too niche. Their sports is where it gets you.
This is Naito losing that Wrestle Kingdom moment. God damn it.
Ooh. I mean, I guess. But yeah, man. Like I said, like even for a 5-game series, this is one of the most fun. I think we talked about this last week. Yeah. This is one of the most fun finals we've had in our lifetimes, and it only went 5 games.
Yeah, like I didn't feel shortchanged. I feel like we clearly saw who the better team was at this point, and it was just like the Spurs got a long way to go. They still got, or I don't want to say a long way to go, right? But they've got at least 3. They have 3 things to fix at minimum. They got to fix the De'Aaron Fox thing. They need some type of help in the front court from Wemby.
Yep.
I will count on Wemby to work on his shot creation stuff that seemed to get bottled up. I don't know if he had the space. They just found a way to get up under him, and then they got to figure out the coaching situation.
Yep. Those are literally the only 3 things I'm concerned about, honestly, too. Like, for me, it's like, hey, Mitch Johnson, you at this stage, you get 1 more year to figure this out, and then if you can't figure this out because of some of your coaching mistakes or whatever your like minutes plans are for these players, if you can't figure it out, you got to go. But the other 2 things I think are fixable because they're under the cap. They can go get a rotational big man.
Bro, how many first-round draft picks do you have to slap on De'Aaron Fox's back to get him up out of there, bro? You got to slap like 4 on them 3 or 4 on his back, right? And send him out like an envelope, right?
We'll see, man. Like, cause you know how it is. Like, Mikal Bridges goes for 4 or 5 first-round draft picks, and then Durant goes for not that, and then Rudy Gobert goes for 4 or 5. Like, I don't know the influx when it comes to their situation. These things don't happen in a vacuum. It's always whatever the market dictates and whoever is crazy enough to pull off whatever. So we'll see where it goes. But yeah, man, like they got to figure. The main thing comes down to Harper and Castle of the future, but
ain't no room.
Can they actually run it? Can they actually be on the floor together and run a competent offense?
Interesting.
Or a competent enough one to win an NBA Finals.
It's great that they're that young and everything like that.
But they're not really point guards.
Right. So, like, I'm thinking, like, maybe
And they can't shoot.
I was like, maybe you're not picking between two of the three. You're picking between one of the three secretly for the long term.
Yes, that I thought that too, but that's not something that's not the decision you make this summer. That's the decision you make.
Oh, you wait. You wait on that as long. Look, you don't take the Oklahoma City Thunder route. You basically be like, hey, we're gonna wait it out, and then we'll see if whatever is to be meant. Time will reveal which one you're supposed to keep.
Yeah,
there in the backcourt, and then in the meantime, you can still be developing Carter Bryant, who's the hidden thing here, right?
Because if he becomes just like,
you can get rid of either one of them.
If he can become someone that can even not just be a corner 3-point shooter when it matters. If he was just that guy in this series, it gets to 7. You know what I mean? Like the margins were so thin on all these games that it's like. If you run this back, if you get the time machine and if you bring out the 27 version of the Spurs team and just put them in this series, it's like we might have a different outcome. Like the margins were this thin on all this stuff.
Yeah,
and I think after the first time we talked about after a game,
we saw some tragic Wemby like for a couple of these games or whatever, and. Look, it's something he gonna have to.
Another thing,
he got to go in the mountain and think about it.
Another thing, can it come down to, hey, we got this guy ready to be able to play 36 minutes of hard NBA basketball after he's never done it ever.
Yeah,
like can he get his body? Can he get his wind, his body's conditioning that much better in one summer? And that's also the margin that could be it. Who knows, man? We'll see. We'll see where this goes.
They're always going to beat them up. So it's like,
yeah, that's never going to change.
There's only so much weights you can lift.
Saw Shaq. We saw Shaq. We saw LeBron. We saw Dwight Howard. Those guys that are basically physically unfair. Refs basically just shrug their shoulders and decide what's a foul and what isn't based off of that dude's physically unfair amongst his league of freak athletes. They're the freakiest. We don't know what to do night to night. We've seen that with those kind of guys, and Wembanyama's that kind of guy. So we'll see where this goes.
Yeah. You want to move on?
Yeah. But congratulations to the Knicks.
Congrats to the Knicks. I didn't watch them closely all year, but man, by the time they got to the finals, it was like I feel like I missed a lot, and I was happy to watch them, happy to see them win, happy to see what Madison Square Garden looked like, happy to see a lot of happy people over all these years, and it was good for the NBA. You can clearly see that people wanted to watch it. It was the ratings were very, very well received by the league. Jordan.
Two fun teams. One team is a team that was always in the hunt, just quite couldn't over the hump over these last 2-3 years because of their limitations, and everything broke right for them this year, and they got a better coach. And then on the other end,
they had a plan. Yeah, like they built it up. Niggas ain't run.
It's a look.
Niggas ain't. It's ethical.
It's too ethical. In fact, it's so ethical. They saying to guys, "Hey, you up to get your max level decision? Why don't you do us the same favor Jalen Brunson did the Knicks?" And I'm thinking,
oh man,
and I want to say to y'all. Any of y'all that's doing this narrative of saying, "Hey,"
it's funny how one verse could fuck up the game.
Yeah, I'm getting to it. Anybody that's out here talking about the widespread NBA and are people going to now follow this plan of giving up over $100 million to make your team better to win an NBA title? I would suggest to you, if you want to have that conversation for max level player X, I suggest you also bring in the part where, hey. Is that player's godfather, literal godparent, the head of basketball ops for the franchise that he's currently signed to or is signed to, and is his daddy on the staff? If not, shut the fuck up and don't ever bring this up again. This is an anomaly that This is an anomaly that is special to Jalen Brunson, and the Knicks fans should be like, hey, we got ourselves something special because we got one of the best basketball players on this planet to give $100 million discount to make this team deep enough. That is why this team is special. That's why Jalen Brunson's gonna get the love he's gonna get for the rest of his life in that city. So I don't want to hear anyone talk about what about Jaylen Brown, his extension comes out, or Wembanyama or anybody else. that is special. Unless you want to do that for that star player to make sure. And also, Jalen Brunson eligible for an extension like in 2 years. You think he'll take a pay cut then? I doubt it. So yeah, I think that we need to not do that because that's lazy. That's taking away from how special this particular situation is, and that's what made the Knicks special this run and why they got a title. So it needs to be all about, hey man, we can't be doing this because what Jalen Brunson and his people got together for this Knicks situation was special.
Yeah, man. It's one for the books, and there will be plenty of them written.
Oh, there will be. Look, how many bestsellers? How many sports New York Times bestsellers gonna be sold off of this 2016 or 2026 Knicks team? It's gonna be at least 3.
Like their wives are gonna be getting into it. Like it's gonna be a lot of stuff. James Dolan, oh my God, he about to do something.
Speaking of wives. Rich, remember a few years back when Isaiah Hartenstein was still on the team?
Yes.
So, a lot of that team's still there. And all I really got to say is shout out to Anthony Towns, man. Shout out to Karl Anthony Towns. Shout out to Anthony Towns. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I ain't going to say much else. One of the things I'm not saying, but just want to say shout out to Anthony Towns. That's all.
Oh man. All right. So I just looked up and I was like, wow, we're halfway through 2026, and I started thinking about half year stuff, different stuff, for One Nation or ROPW I was thinking of. I'm thinking about doing I've got a AEW MVP list for every year. Basically I picked the MVP, then an alt MVP. I'm going to do that on the channel, I don't know, rather soon. But I was thinking about, just what have been really the stories in wrestling this year, what stuff has kind of stood out to you, who the best performers have been, and what has this year kind of felt like in your eyes?
So for me, I would say it's been a year where it's a good year. What do you love about it specifically storyline wise? And I'm like, damn, it's strange. I was thinking about this watching this show, Dynamite, and I think we'll get to it later. We'll see what to talk about it now, but it's what is the big overarching narrative, and what makes it unique for pro wrestling, what makes it unique for this particular year in AEW. And I gotta say, the first 3 months it worked to great success, and now that we're past 3 months of it and I know this is what you're doing, it's kind of hurting how I feel about individual storylines. The idea that you have the champion with the title and everybody wants it is a great concept to start fresh for building new storylines going forward, and where these guys come into contact with each other along the path. But if everybody has the same story, nobody kind of has a story. Mm-hmm. And it is kind of hurting AEW right now with Forbidden Door in the way, and I think we're at the point now where it's become glaringly or just beyond obvious that they need a shakeup as far as their calendar. They have got set in their ways, and the things they were doing before they got a all in, where any pay-per-view could be the next big pay-per-view, it was more exciting, and it didn't leave them to have to put stuff on hold the way they have to get to the big show to draw all the tickets, even though this particular year is all right, what are the big stories? We're only 2 months away, and we still don't really have much. But, I think it's a year where they had to come to the conclusion, having the tournaments, the Owen, as much as fun as how high quality the Owen has been this year and last year, and what the C2 is in every November through December, I think they had to come to a reckoning that, this is getting in the way of our ability to be flexible as bookers, as storytellers. I think that stuff's getting in the way. at what point do they, at what point in the fall do they start putting themselves, to get themselves in position to do a blood and guts? You know that's coming.
Mm-hmm.
So, and, Forbidden Door, All Out, to go with along with All In, all that stuff is, in the last couple of years, has gotten in the way of whatever they're trying to tell, or giving them unnecessary hurdles, because they have filled out their traditional calendar, and this is what their years are. And I think the thing about AEW at the beginning was that, like, it was uncharted territory, so they could go to different places, and if they were doing the stuff every other year, it would be beneficial to them for some of the stuff. But now we locked into basically every month pay-per-view, and some of these dates are just in the way, and a lot of stuff feels like foregone conclusions and stuff, and it's like, that does hurt the suspense, because that they're not going to do nothing crazy.
I think for me, a lot of the year has been defined about guys who are not on TV.
There's that too.
Guys that are missing. And you can take this all over the map. So
I mean, Swerve literally just did a podcast. Just literally just did a whole segment with Will Ospreay, and ultimately boiled down to, where the fuck is Hangman on the page? And I'm like, yeah. Someone asking this question. Where is this guy?
I mean, he was wondering where he was himself too.
Hey, man. Boy, look.
So
FOH,
there's a lot going on there.
Look, FOH, that's definitely getting drafted in the first 2 rounds.
Oh man,
definitely.
Look, FOH is going to be a movie this year. It's going to be, yeah. But WWE, CM Punk gone. For months and months. As you mentioned, Swerve, Hangman, Kenny, gone, all the time. And, the AEW World title has just been defended more than any time in its history this year.
I don't hate that, though.
I don't know. Like,
it's been MJF and Darby have been quality champions.
Yeah, they've both put a lot of good matches up. I think the matches kind of come in lieu of like the suspense I think you may have been
that's true.
Looking for, because it was
that's
like one guy was coming out every week for Darby. It was just like, well, why doesn't it ever work like this any other time? Like that's the only thing I think you can ask on that. I think the pay-per-views have been great.
Yeah.
We saw in the comments like Hiroshi Tanahashi laid it down at the very beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I think that's still my match of the year right now.
What's been even close?
I don't think anything's reached it, like just the stakes, the drama, the moment. Like, there's been matches that, just like bell to bell, I think probably like, get it out of here or whatever. But it was like, I think it just has this. Man. I
think there have been matches that have been nifty or whatever else, but like as far as the drama, the action, or whatever, like that wasn't no pity.
It's not a charity match.
That's not no sentimental pity, match of the year contender. Like, nah, man, that match is an all-time match. But normally, I don't think I've seen anything. I don't think anything yet that is bell to bell better. Like, I will say this, like that. I think Swerve and Ospreay are going to outdo it. Bell to bell doesn't mean people are going to have it rated higher by the end of the year. Will you say that bell to bell Takeshita Okada was better? Or will you say it's basically the same shit except the stakes are higher?
It's almost the same shit, but
yeah.
And Swerve and Kenny, number 1, that one was great.
That was.
And going around the country to go see it, I'll always kind of remember that.
The Young Bucks Takeshita Okada match.
Yeah, the Young Bucks on pay-per-view just deciding, like, you know what? We're going to open against FTR, and then we're going to do the match against Takeshita and Okada, and it's just like, just greatness with those guys. Like, and it's just like,
now they're banished to Collision.
I run out of adjectives to describe their selflessness, to describe their work rate, to describe just like what they mean, like to not only last era of wrestling, this era of wrestling, like. and it's just every time they're still around, I'm just overjoyed that the Bucks of Youth are just here and decided to do wrestling their way. So who else can I think about that has really kind of stood out? I'm gonna take it here. The unrest in WWE and the fan engagement around the product, and
they're not happy.
They are not happy. They are the TKO stuff, like as far as them rinsing their fans left and right. These huge shows where they're paying an arm and a leg for less and less. I think people have gotten hip to the game in a way that I'm shocked that they have even decided. Like, they kept noticing the hand was in their pockets. They kept noticing the advertisements. They kept noticing the lack of matches on the shows. They kept wondering why people could not make pay-per-view anymore. And they kept wondering why Paul Levesque is getting a pass at this point. And I don't think he is anymore.
Happy Juneteenth.
He doesn't see color, James. But yeah, that WrestleMania show, that first night, just ineptitude at a WrestleMania level unseen in 30 years. It was just like, wow. Like, but I warn.
Night one was abysmal, man.
Bro.
I still haven't watched night two because night one was so bad. Bro. I still haven't seen Punk and Roman.
Like, So, like, in WWE, while doing all this, are still making moves in the background to, like, to chase after the rest of the wrestling world. Like, they had, like, the AAA stuff they're expanding now.
Yeah.
They're making all these, secret moves in the background. They're trying to still go after tons of talents and different stuff like that.
They just recently announced a show the same weekend as Redemption.
Yeah.
In July.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I knew.
It happened the last couple weeks.
I knew they had one head-to-head with Forbidden Door.
Yeah. It's in Saudi Arabia though, so it's like one of those. So that was not necessarily as sinister because I think those are planned way ahead. But they're still doing the same. We'll throw out some show to try to take 5% off of the top of whatever AEW is doing. It's like, all right, good luck with that.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's I think it's been a year of like it's the mid-decade blues in some cases. It's like you got a lot of guys that you're wanting the new guys to emerge. I think Kevin Knight's emergence is notable.
Yeah.
I think from last year coming into this year, Kyle Fletcher got injured, but he's right on the cusp, I think, of being able to make some noise. MJF's reemergence has kind of been like, it seemed like he had kind of been, I don't want to say past it, because obviously in 2023 he had it and he was always going to be back around, but he almost came back with a vengeance this year.
He's
to where
done
it was
so much
like,
better than I thought he ever was going to with a second opportunity. I was like, all right, I'm gonna give him a shot or whatever the second time around, and we gonna see what he does with it. But man, like, he's been a great champion this year. He has been so good. I think that it has come at the expense of some other things that I would like to get more time. But if he's gonna do so well, at that point it gets to a point where like we are getting into some real like high level like unhappiness of like you just never satisfied. So yeah, man, like it's been a really good year. It's not perfect. It's never been perfect because it's a fucking sports version of a soap, or it's a soap opera of a sports league.
Speaking of not perfect, John Moxley. I think this is the year that has finally broke me. Like as far as like dealing with just seeing how this company works and like I think it culminated actually in the Swerve and Ospreay segment, and then after in the back where it was just like I felt like he tried to dump cold water on it like immediately, and it was just like I feel like the entire thing with Will Ospreay has been like, I'm gonna steal this from Sarah, who I saw post this in some channel, whatever, from Trish and Sarah. What's up, Sarah? Said when Will Ospreay first came into this company, there was such a rush to put the championship on him, right? Mm-hmm. So essentially, they will have waited for 2 years to do this with it, right? Like, and now it's just like, I think a lot of this has ended up being Jon Moxley's story rather than Will Ospreay's, and Ospreay's putting stuff back together now, trying to like, he's basically like when he's talking about I have to learn to let things go, and I'm just like, well, what kind of like babyface are you? Like, you think Steve Austin would have let some shit go? Like, I know everybody's not Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? Mm-hmm. But I think the Death Riders become long in the tooth. They haven't done really anything notable or meaningful for months. You never know their alignment from one week or to the next. He's going to work as a complete heel against Bandito on the pay-per-view, but all of a sudden he's gonna step up the next night and be saving Will Ospreay, and I'm just like, I'm tired of it.
Rich,
pick a side, nigga.
Rich,
like
that happened on this show. Moxley and Garcia were literally in the heel corner, healing up, had Marina out there cheating throughout that whole entire match. A great match, by the way. And then, as you mentioned, they come to the help of Swerve Strickland when, not Swerve, Will Ospreay when Swerve grabs the chain after Will blows the stack and punches Swerve in the jaw. And it's like, are they helping? Are they turning Moxley heel without are Moxley and them turning Ospreay heel without him realizing it, or what is the story? I still don't know. And like, the only thing that, as you mentioned, like the thing about like the complaints about Moxley and Death Riders is, yeah, and then they get in a big match and they fucking tear the house down. Moxley on pay-per-view's been great. Like, Pac, whenever he's had matches, has been great. Like, it's the alignment that's the problem, in the part where he's down the card, but his hands are on the main event.
And he's in a corner with his own belt that nobody can touch, essentially. And this is why I don't care about the secondary belts in this company, because there's only one real belt. And the thing is, it might be being worn by somebody, and somebody else might actually be wearing it. And that's been really the secret to the AEW World Championship this year. Even when Darby was the champion, like, he was wearing that shit for the real champion, who he dropped it back to.
Yeah, I get you.
Like, and so, like, on the other side of the coin, like I've been saying, there's two sides of this company. There's MJF side, there's Mox side, and then the middle is Don Callis, right? Like right down the middle is Don Callis, right? So, with his 912 people in the group.
Remember when they were doing Death Riders versus Don Callis family? It just stopped.
Yeah. Interesting. So, like, I've grown really tired of waiting for whatever the Death Riders are trying to do to culminate to, like, these niggas were literal terrorists running around this company or whatever, and everybody's just fine with them now, apparently. Like, I'm like, okay. So, like, they're just all right. Niggas committed terroristic acts for years, and we just rolling with it, and then being told to be happy that Jon Moxley was winning the Continental joint in heroic fashion against Kazuchika Okada, and it has rolled on from there. Like, and I think this stuff has been largely in its own world, and really one of the things I have not loved about the company this year.
I think that's the real complaint is, like the thing is, we were like, all right, well, they've had two of the greatest wrestling shows of all time already. Every pay-per-view they've had has been. Have they had a pay-per-view this year that wasn't great? Is there one I'm forgetting that wasn't great? Revolution was great.
The
The last
Dynasty
was great. Dynasty, yeah.
Dynasty was really good. And Double or Nothing was one of the greatest shows ever.
Right, like, I mean, Revolution was one of the greatest shows ever. It's just,
Yeah.
the last pay-per-view was just maybe the greatest wrestling show ever. You know what I mean? So it's like, you're getting this kind of stuff, but it's like, we're getting down into the real, like, nitty-gritty stuff, and it's like this, it doesn't feel like, it feels like there's a connective tissue that's missing with all this, and now we're headed towards this show that is an afterthought because they don't really actually want to carry out the actual intended, like, the Forbidden Door isn't the Forbidden Door no more, and it wasn't that was the case last year too, right? But like now it's even more glaring. Like, did they even have a single like New Japan Pro Wrestling star signed or announced for a match yet?
Zach.
Oh yeah, Zach. Is there a second one?
Shota Umino.
Who's he wrestling?
Pac.
When did that get announced?
That actually will be announced on Collision.
Oh, so it will be announced.
Time comp. You know, this thing. Shout out to Mr. Warren Hayes for the $10 on there. I believe I will choose to believe this is to celebrate Juneteenth. Thank you, sir. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just think
no. Hold on. Now, Mr. Sourgraphs, did you have you given your 10 or whatever you're gonna give to Grapsody?
You got to go around and bless everybody. You know,
yeah. Like I appreciate the love for us. You got to check out everybody though.
Go holla at Lyric and Danny.
Yeah.
You know, all that. You know,
a lot of people.
You know, Ibu, Ao.
We gonna make you regret giving us $10.
But yeah, man, I don't know. As far as New Japan Pro Wrestling, it's been, you know, I think the Aaron Wolf thing has been
so
disastrous. Like from like I saw his match and I was just like, yeah. And I watched it against Ren Narita. I was like, all right, brother, they did this for 6 months, and I feel like this crowd like wants to care because they like him, obviously, but it's like the House of Torture. Ultimately, still, it's the same shit that you saw to a not as good, less over version of it by the time Dominion came. Yeah, man.
Like you can say, look,
the
evil
Yoda
shit
suit
sucked, but at least evil was like in the eyes of the fandom.
He had something that Ren Narita clearly does not.
He was moving shirts.
Yeah,
you know.
And, you know, the Yoda Tsuji thing, I don't think that has gone the way that people thought it was going to go from January 4th on.
It has not.
Won that belt back in maybe a 3 3/4 match with Callum Newman, and I was just like, this is y'all star? Like, this is the ace? Like, all right, man. Like I don't know, bro. I'm not seeing it, like, at that level.
I think we're at a point now where with the Musketeers, it's clear that Tsuji's the best one. But the problem with Tsuji is Tsuji's just a great wrestler. He's not an all-time wrestler yet. He can still get there. He has the tools. More season, maybe he will become an all-timer, right?
Look, slightly older than we think.
How old is he?
He might be...
Is he 30?
You know, I think he may be 34, maybe?
I thought he was
32. Excuse me, 32.
Okay.
And actually, in September he will be 33. But the thing is, he was a young lion went through the dojo, yes, so it means like a different kind of thing. So like, and I don't know if this was like Kazuchika Okada just being this fucking phenom at like a super young age, right? But like being Yoda Tsuji in 2026 is not Kazuchika Okada in 2016. Like No, like these mean two different things. So it's like when you're starting your company from that big of a look.
I don't know what you mean. I every time I go on my timeline, I hear Kazuchika Okada is not good until he rips off the best match of the year or the second best match of the year, you know, months apart. So I don't know. Like I always hear that Okada is just okay. He's anybody could have done this. It's all an illusion. He's not actually one of the greatest wrestlers of all time before he was even 30. So I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. But I just know that it's unfair. I just don't know it's unfair and that for Tsuji because he's still young and he hasn't had enough reps for this to come out with a conclusion to figure out what his actual trajectory is going to be in pro wrestling or in New Japan Pro Wrestling yet. I just know that the dude's super talented, and when I watch him, I enjoy him, and I know that if you put him in the ring with another guy that is as good as him or better, he's going to deliver. The problem is, how many people does New Japan have that's better than him at this point?
Like, the thing is, it's like, all right, Okada had a lot of those guys to learn from, to get better with. He had rivals that were like coming from outside the company that were coming to challenge him, that were like these imports. Yota Tsuji don't seem to be about any of that. Like, he has just a different idea on what he wants to do. You know, he wants to end up having to do his title reign. He's got to wrestle Jake Lee, apparently, you know, as a worthy contender and shit. Like, now, look, if I was him...
You watch that shit sucks.
Look, people have like, we've seen all his interviews in Tokyo Sports and all this him and Han he's done, and we've seen this week about, you know, him not wanting to defend the IWGP belt. We saw the him and Ospreay thing, like, everybody, you're getting worked. No, nigga, he's working himself. Like, like keep wrestling whack opponents then. Keep having a lower profile. Keep doing all of those things in the silence, in the desert of New Japan Pro Wrestling right now. We saw that G1 block announcement. James, never have I felt less. They are coming to Chicago. They might as well not get off the plane.
So, Gabe Kidd's in the other block, right?
He's in the B block.
Okay, Kasuji's in the A block. Yeah, man, like, honestly, it's going to go back to the Gabe Kidd thing. You know, like, Gabe Kidd and Tsuji had that awesome match at the beginning of, was it last year? Or 2 years ago?
Yeah, last year, 2025.
Yeah.
New beginning.
Was that New Beginning or was it Genesis?
New beginning.
Okay. Yeah, man, like, because that was following up off the Gabe Kidd Omega match. And, yeah, man, like,
honestly, they should like just build that up and do like that as the Wrestle Kingdom main event. No, honestly,
what I'm getting at is anytime they seem like they got somebody, they just get poached by AEW.
There is that,
right? Look, Okada Lee's. Obviously, the Young Bucks,
everybody,
Kenny Omega, and Cody Rhodes leave out of what they were doing in New Japan, start AEW. Chris Jericho, same thing, right? The dogs leave. Jay White leaves. Ospreay leaves. Like, like, they keep getting plundered. And it's like, all right, because honestly, you know, where the economy is in Japan right now, and where New Japan is now, where they get sold by Bushiroad off, and it's like they're not paying talent. Like the only place that's paying good money seemingly right now that a stable job is AEW. Like, you can sign for whatever you want to in WWE. Eventually, the Undertaker comes a calling, not the actual, like the figurative Undertaker. Like the Grim Reaper comes a calling and says it's time for you to be cut. Right? So it's like, what are the options as a person trying to make a career as a high level wrestler? It's AEW or just not make as much money or have a stable job, or make a lot of money and have an unstable job. It's the only place where you can get both right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, it sucks. Like, I would like, you know, and just for the betterment of pro wrestling, it would make more sense if there was a spread of elite pro wrestlers throughout WWE and AEW and New Japan, so we can have three places that can have all high-level wrestlers, and have high-level wrestlers tell stories at a time. In AEW, when there's this much talent, guys are falling through the cracks. They don't get screen time. That's why there's just a glut of top-level wrestlers that are, you know, they do their match. You're like, damn, they should have a chance to do X, Y, and Z. And then you look around, it's like, are they really going to get an opportunity over what's above them? You're like, yeah, that is crazy. That doesn't make much sense. And you get stuck where it's like they're beyond loaded, and it's like that's one of the problems of AEW. They have so many guys that they can't really they get into like almost like a paralysis of choices. It's like going on Netflix and being like, "What I'm gonna watch today," or going on YouTube and what I'm gonna watch today. There's too many options. You get stuck for 30 minutes trying to figure out what you're gonna pick to watch. So with New Japan, it's like New Japan keep getting they whatever they build up, except for Yoda Sushi apparently, it's getting Tony Khan come and say, hey, let me get that, bro. They ain't hey, what you want? How much you can pay? All right, I can double that, triple that. You want to come over here? Look, you already know half the roster. They was just on the roster with you 18 months ago.
Yeah.
Shout out to Keepin It Strong Style. Shout out to Keepin It Strong Style. Keeping up the good fight.
They might have to rename it. They might have renamed the show to that. Keep up the good fight.
Like that's the thing about our perspective on it, right? We are into wrestling for the matches, the talent, the individual talent in their journeys, and the things they can do in a wrestling ring or on a microphone. And I think, if you have come from the perspective of you only knew wrestling one way, or you're used to watching one particular brand of wrestling and they do it this way, it can be hot for a period of time, but eventually it's not going to be hot forever. And for us, it's like we're trying to watch where the biggest concentration of talent is and what's doing the best wrestling, and that's how we have moved along nomadically through the last since 2012 with pro wrestling. And I think we're kind of unique in that situation. Well, the way we cover this thing is like people are they watch WWE and they're miserable. I'm like, hey man, you ain't gotta watch that shit if it ain't good. Like,
switch it up.
New Japan Pro Wrestling is not 2018 New Japan Pro Wrestling no more, and it's okay to admit that.
I don't think people ready to deal with it. And the thing is, James, like Drake said, they've had a lot of practice dealing with this. James,
2026 Stardom is not bad by any means, but it also ain't 2022 Stardom either. Right, like last year they had their best attendance they ever did, right? Cool. Pull up that cage match. Look how many 8s are on that cage match. Pull up 2023 and 22 and 21. Look how many 8s they got there. Now that's not the end all be all. But, look, man, we just had Azuki on AEW television.
Yeah. What you think that mean?
Well, Tommy left and came back to Stardom just now. Tam retired. Julia's in WWE. Mina's in AEW. Like, these things... When
change, man.
This shit changes in, like... We talk about this. Appreciate greatness while it's happening. When you have a collection or you have a roster collected like this, appreciate what you're getting, because you don't know how long it's gonna last. Look. You couldn't have told me after watching 2018 New Japan Pro Wrestling that shit wasn't gonna last forever. It lasted. Yeah. It still lasted over half a decade longer, but still, bro, like it ain't the same. Like Tanahashi just retired, and look what the year's been post him retiring. And don't get me wrong, the person that retired is Okada, who's not even in New Japan no more. What the fuck? Naito, not in New Japan no more. What the fuck?
Out there and just, Noah somewhere and land on his head.
Hiromu, not in New Japan no more.
About to debut in NXT. Evil, about to be the fucking NXT champion. What?
Appreciate the collection of talent when you got to see it, man.
Yeah.
Like, we just did this thing about AEW and there are loads of talent. Like, look, man, they're giving us some of the greatest shows we've ever seen, big shows we've ever seen. That's why I'm of 2 minds where it's like, I wish the storylines be a little more cohesive. I wish they took care of these things the way they took care of it the first 3 years of promotion.
Like, it's too big to be that
There's been trade-offs. There's been trade-offs made. It's like, hey, look, man, we can't get people to care about, like, emotionally investing in the Dark Order and Hangman Page the way that we, like, we can't get people to care about Don Callis' family the way that they cared about Dark Order and Hangman. Okay, cool. Line it up, though.
Yeah, it's tough. It's
Don Callis' family or Dark Order? What are we doing?
Yeah, it's almost like you got, like...
Best Friends or Jet Speed? What are we doing? Sorry, look, don't throw tomatoes at me. Don't throw tomatoes at me and Ali and Leah. But give me a fucking break. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Let's be real. Let's be real. You know, like they say in life. Let's be real. We on deck. No, I'm saying like there's a trade-off with, you know, that talent increase, as you mentioned. You know, maybe it was easier building around just a few stars, and then was bringing up them low spades with them. So like, I don't know. There's a trade-off for everything. I think there's a time and place where the low spades, you know, they walked across the table, you know, a little bit more, you know, and.
Hey, bro, can you imagine that when we first saw them beating the Elite at the end of 2019, that they will end up being like that emotional weight to matter for like Hangman's like redemption? Like, what the fuck is this? No way, get them off TV, and then it mattered that way, and they came through and they actually mattered. Now you see Silver. Now the only time you see Silver is like we showed up for the ball segment with MJF at backstage. It's like, oh, Meat Man, shout out.
Yep.
You ain't gonna pause for saying Meat Man? All right.
I'm gonna let that one go.
You off the game.
I'm gonna let that one go. But
Two Americas. That man, look, John Silver can never get away with that nickname if he was black. He'd be like, "What is this,
brother? You had to wear a pause T-shirt, brother. Like, your existence is pause." Imagine telling Dame Dash there's a wrestler called the Meat Man. Like. Pull up the Mano with that and Jim Jones.
Yeah, not a chance.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, man, it's I think Cody Rhodes and WWE, man, again, them saxophones are getting loud for that brother over there.
I mean, look, I think that they have a lot of problems right now, but I think that can easily be fixed if they just say, hey, you're going to put Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns in a ring again for the third time. But I think there should be questions asked about why have they not done that.
Oh, yeah. Or what? I think the answer we would get would be a question in itself. They'd be like, well, why would we do that? Like,
I mean, look, shit. They had the best success they've had in years with those two guys in main event. Imagine, let's put it this way. Imagine if granted, think about what happened in the aftermath of the business after 2001, after WrestleMania 17, right? They still fucking did it. They still had a third Austin and Rock, because why the fuck would you do a second? Why the fuck would you do a second Austin and Rock? Mm-hmm. It only makes sense. It's our biggest match. We're gonna do this until we can't do it no more. Them? Nah. No one wants to put anybody over because they both pretend they're both they're the bigger star because of ego and pride. Hey man, how about this? How about we get y'all in the ring and y'all can both be the best because it's fucking fake.
How about y'all go do How about y'all go do it for real then?
Yeah. Why y'all shoot over it? This is matters to you so much. I just saw Roman. He was at the White House MMA.
Maybe he was learning.
Shit. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
What
you staring at? You got a huge weight difference over Cody. Cody was an amateur wrestler. You ain't got to worry about that though. Yeah. When was the last time you think he rolled on a mat?
That was a long time ago.
That was high school.
Shames though happy not to be a Fed fan because I don't have to see any Cody Juneteenth jokes. His kufi is Photoshop, mine is real. So
they still doing that?
I haven't seen any today, which is maybe an improvement, but I don't want to speak too soon because who knows what it'll look like by the time I get off this show tonight. Somebody will be polluted the timeline with some of that stuff. So, but yeah. Let's see what else we got here. But yeah, that was just good. Nothing like some old freelance One Nation Radio.
Yeah, pretty much.
The days are longer, the calendar is filling up, and I want to feel as good as this beautiful summer weather. That's why I've been loving Groons. It's one daily pack of gummies that covers my greens, vitamins, minerals, and even has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber, so I don't need to juggle a complicated wellness routine on top of everything else. They taste amazing, they're easy to toss in my bag on the go, plus they're vegan, gluten-free, and HSA and FSA, eligible for reimbursement. Save up to 52% off with code podcast at gruns.co. That's code podcast at gruns.co.
But in light of Juneteenth, I wanted to talk about the Black Wrestling Podcast 50 released their... Did I send you the list, James?
Yes, you did.
I sent the list of the 50 wrestlers. Every year that they've done it, I believe since 2018, they take a look at the top 50 black pro wrestlers currently working in the squared circle. They do have a criteria that they follow, and I am going to share it on the screen.
It's a criteria that Swerve Strickland and what's his name off this shit. Or what, is this the same one or is it a different one?
That's that. Is that very one?
Is but I'm okay.
There's that very one, and we're gonna get to we're gonna get to that shortly. But hold on.
It's so funny now that
so here it is. I'll read it on screen. I'll get it off.
Yeah, let's go ahead, read it. Go ahead.
The Black Wrestling Podcast used the set criteria to rank black pro wrestlers in their annual BRP50, which has been a feature of the podcast since 2018. Win-loss record, championships won, quality of competition, television time, prominence within a wrestler's promotion or shins, and overall impact.
Okay.
So, shout out to them. But yeah, so first, it being Juneteenth, I'm not about to be negative about nobody in their list because lists are difficult things to do.
Look, when we do lists, people are gonna be mad at it. That's what that's the point of the lists are. It's for engagement bait.
Yeah. But we should bring up the Swerve thing. Swerve Strickland, obviously not on this list, had a problem with this publication to where he asked to have his name taken off of it. And the best part is,
take me off the list. Take me off the list, and then I proceed to unequivocally become the best black pro wrestler in the world for going forward after that. Hey, he might have a point. He's like, hey, y'all playing with me, and I'm gonna really turn up and show y'all.
The saxophones got loud, my brother.
It's like T.I. when he's on Arista for I'm Serious, and he's like, all right, fuck Arista, or Arista cuts me, whatever else. All right, I'm going to go to Atlantic, and then proceed to put on 3 classics, and then at least 3 near classic albums at the worst over the next 6 years. Like, to kind of prove the point.
I think he might have won on that particular.
That you made a mistake.
Yeah. So I believe he was ranked not in a way that he appreciated in 2022, and he felt that there was some favoritism going on, and with who the podcast may or may not be close with, and there was a lot of stuff that flew back and forth. People made up some beef with him and Carmelo Hayes, which I can confirm does not exist. From there, I think obviously Swerve had gone on to, I think he was number 2 in PWI 500 one of these years, so like it has only made the BRP 50 like the top of it kind of more noticeable, like, in whatever the beef is between them, if it still goes on, I'm sure those guys have an issue with Swerve still. I don't know if Swerve really cares or thinks about this or anything, so well,
I'm not laughing at that. I just saw someone in their top 10. It's like every time they show this person in their top 10, they got to show a picture of their daddy to validate that they're actually black.
Stop this. But I'll say this, like,
what the fuck is she doing this? Oh, I forgot, my bad.
I'll say this, I don't think not being on the list has necessarily hurt Swerve at all. And going forward, it looks like they will always have to either answer the question about why he's not on the list, or the people that normally talk about this. And I don't think we've ever talked about the BRP50 on this show or anything. It just hadn't come up. But I saw it, and it was Juneteenth, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm in the talking mood. Why not? So I saw it, and I've seen the list in previous years, and it's a list. You disagree with various things on it, or I just have questions about some of these things.
Before we move on, I got one last joke. So look, man, I understand Swerve. People think he took this shit. People have made these crazy characterizations about Swerve based off him not want to be on this list, and then they go on to do like this. Well, if you don't want to be on this blacklist, what do you think of yourself? Is some self-hate shit?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, y'all start doing projections. That's insane. But what I will say is, look, man, these lists are important to some of these wrestlers. Some of these wrestlers would come into these lists, they'll be like, hey, I should be booked better based on where I am positioned on this list. Allegedly. I'm trying to see, is he on this list?
And what I get from
is he on this list?
Who?
Is he
on this list? I don't think he's been very active.
List.
I don't think he's been very active until very recently.
Okay.
So,
I don't see him on this list. Maybe when we go through it,
I think he just got started back being active.
Okay.
But as far as like what it looks like they have a set criteria. They're supposed to be looking at booking, star power, different stuff that. This is different than Righteous Reg's list. Shout out to Reg. Like, Reg looks like more about like discoverability. Like, he's trying to basically like, hey, y'all say it ain't nobody to book here. Like that. That's kind of what it is. This one, they look like they trying to, they trying to see who's who and what is what.
Yeah. It looks more similar to like a PWI.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll go from, let's see, where should we start?
At the top.
Yeah, fuck it.
Let's start at the
top.
top.
Good idea. Let's start at the top. The number one black pro wrestler in the world, James. Mm-hmm. Trick Williams.
Now, after we just said, just want to make an immediate point. After this conversation we just had about Swerve saying, take my name off this fucking list. Now, you want to tell me, Swerve, so you want to tell me Trick Williams matters more to the pro wrestling world in 2026 that Trick Williams does than Swerve Strickland?
Look.
Do you think that if Swerve Strickland was a free agent right now, he would be offered less money to join WWE than Trick Williams?
James, as a matter of fact,
no, I know the answer is no.
In my opinion, I think. All right, I'll say this. I think if you had these 5 names in free agency, right, and then including Trick Williams, you had Trick Williams, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Swerve Strickland. Right? Trick Williams would be on one level, right, of whatever is being offered.
And everybody be above it.
And everybody else would be all together.
Everybody be above it. Yeah.
So, I don't know about that one. Trick, high-profile year. I don't even know if he's wrestled 20 matches, though. On that WWE main roster, U.S. champ.
When it comes to Trick Williams, it ain't
what's his best match?
Look, when it comes to Trick Williams, it's not about how many times you wrestle, because it's not even about, because when Trick Williams, it's not about the matches. That's a problem with Trick. That's a problem with the Trick Williams experience. It's not about any. It's never about the wrestling. And don't be wrong, like The Rock is an all-time wrestler, and a lot of times it wasn't about the wrestling with him either. But hey, when it was time to go out here and have a high-quality match, The Rock could do it. Trick has to prove that he can do it.
Because I'm like, all right, man. Like I see the win-loss record, championships won, quality of competition. Where is the have good matches part? Like who the best wrestlers, who the best workers are, right? Like, why do we not do black wrestlers like that? Like, why? And I think this is also an issue.
You know why?
I'm like, look, man. Throughout, and I'm actually planning on talking about this in more extensive terms, like, black wrestlers were not known as work rate wrestlers because they came up in a lot of very traditional American schools. The difference has been international training over the last 15 or so years. Like, that has been the difference of, like, the generation that rose with AR Fox, Ricochet, Swerve Strickland, who were Rich Swann, who were able to be those guys that could basically go fucking nuts. It was not the New Day. It was not Lashley. It was people we love. We love them for what they've done and their contributions and stuff. But like,
we love them getting the scraps they were given.
Yeah, I was gonna say, James, the whole thing about why Swerve is not on this list or doesn't want to be on this list, he wants to be looked at as the best wrestler in the world. And competing amongst the best wrestlers in the world, black wrestlers tended have never been given that look.
Rich.
And given that opportunity to really show, or an ACH, that's another one.
Yeah.
Like, when we're talking about Trick, we're not talking about Trick as a best wrestler in the world. Like,
we're not even talking about Trick in a Jay Lethal sense.
Right.
Bro, could you imagine how much money or WWE will be able to make and what kind of... bro. I saw this recent thing of, like, if you give Luka Doncic a Sar Thompson level defense, like, where would he end up? Like, he's the best fucking player, right? If you gave Trick Williams ACH level wrestling, he'd be the best. He'd be the biggest wrestler
to ever live.
He'd be the biggest star in wrestling right now. This very second.
Yeah.
Not to nobody else. Cody Roman, Moxley, Omega, whoever you want to say. It matters. This is a full equation. He's missing this particular part of this game. It's holding him back. If he ever figures it out, look the fuck out, right? But he's still great. He's still doing great things even without this.
Yeah. So, number 2, Obafemi.
So my question for you is this, right? If we go forward, if we play this forward and we go in the future, we were to just like pontificate, right? Or guess futures. Do you think that Obafemi? Who do you think is destined to have the better future between those two? Who will you pick to have the better career in the next 5 years?
Between Oba and Trick, I think Trick is slightly older, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I'm just immediate future, just 5 years, not going to
5 years. 5 years. Okay, 32. Oba, maybe 27. I think I'm 28.
I won't even get into the part of their age. I think 5 years is short enough. And like we talking about pro wrestling, we ain't talking about basketball,
right,
football, no shit like that.
I think for me, I think it would be Obafemi because I think they would end up trusting his working to the top of the card because they already trust him more towards the top of the card than they do Trick.
That's where I'm getting at. I think that obviously Trick is more charismatic. He gives off. I can put him in interviews. I can send him places that to sell WWE easier than Oba. But for me, like I watch Oba and I'm like, that dude gets over anywhere in any era of pro wrestling. I don't know if Trick necessarily could because people might not like whatever that gimmick gives off, but I think there is a classic babyface big man in that it can be packaged anywhere in any era, and it's successful. It is easily like replicable to be successful anywhere. It's just an easier game to carry over. So I think I would go with Oba, but Trick's ahead of him. You're right.
Yeah.
Right now. But like if I would say, hey, if I am going to forecast this forward and like who do I think is going to be the WrestleMania main eventer and have the match people remember, I'll probably go with Oba because it's easier.
Yeah, it
like
feels
you
like
ring the bell and you look at him in this big nigga fight time every time. Like it's like you get him in the ring.
Not a stiff.
You get him in the ring with Drew McIntyre. You get him in the ring with Gunther. You get him in the ring with hell. I mean, look at the Brock Lesnar matches. Brock been doing the same tire shit he been doing for over a decade at this point.
Yep.
And this crowd lost their minds over that shit. While I'm watching, it was like, I've seen this a million times. I don't give a fuck about it no more. But the crowd went banana.
Yep. Number 3, Javon Evans.
He's special, man. Special athlete.
I think WWE sees him as a young guy, and I think it's going to be like a gift and a curse. And they're going to beat him for a long time.
They're going to wait too long. They're going to miss opportunity.
And he's going to have to gain more weight because I know he's tall and all that, but he's going to run into who's going to put him over. They're going to think he doesn't know how to wrestle. Mm-hmm. When Javon Evans has
that thing. They're going to think he doesn't have the right connection, and then they're going to fuck around and throw him in some gauntlet match or whatever else, Rich.
Javon lost to Jey Uso tonight, apparently. My God. See?
All right. Look. Obviously, Javon's way ahead of Jey Uso, but Jey Uso got the juice right now. Right? The Yeet Man, the warning shot
Clean.
guy. Look, man, I get it. I wouldn't be doing that, but obviously, Jey Uso is he's a merchandise monster. He's a top star to their fandom. They don't care about the match. He's above the matches, right? Like the same thing we talking about Trick, right? There are certain guys that it don't matter what kind of match they put on, they just stars. The crowd loves them and they rock with it. It don't matter. Javon Evans, I think Javon Evans is gonna be one of those guys where it's like they're gonna play the long game with him, and we're gonna look back and be like, damn. Hopefully something breaks through for him. And like Kofi Mania, I was making a Kofi Mania analogy where it's like you look at it and you can be like, damn, bro, this guy always has something. The crowd always loved him, and they played him at a certain level, and then all of a sudden he's gonna break through, and they're gonna be like, damn, you left this on the table for a decade, almost a decade.
That is my biggest fear with him.
We could look. He gonna have these moments, or whatever else, when the athleticism is not the same. We're gonna be like, look what could have been. This is a classic. This guy is trapped in their own promotion.
And nobody realizes it yet. Like, and they're like, he's here. They make him wrestle in a t-shirt. We should note this because
he
they think
have
he's
a bad
too
body.
skinny. They think he's too skinny. So, just all the classic trappings of like, yeah.
Why do they always do this? Look, man. There's always a Kofi or there's always a Jeff Hardy where it's like, hey, man. The crowd loves the way he wrestles. They love him. He does fun stuff. Make a way. Look, he should be on pay-per-view.
They're gonna wait till he don't jump as high. They're gonna wait till he quote unquote learns to work.
Sammy's another example.
All the skills.
Bro, if I showed you, or I ain't gotta tell you, Rich, Sammy ain't got nothing but old man sell and fire up at the end and make the race close at the end at this point. And he broke through super late. 2014 Sami Zayn, if he'd be the top guy. He'd be the top babyface in WWE right now if he had the same promo skills he has right now and that connection with the level of athleticism he had in 2014, he'd be the top babyface promotion. That dude was an insane wrestler. That's been going for almost most of this decade.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Speaking of that, when is Owens due back? It's been over a year now at this point, hasn't it?
Yeah, more than that. Year and a half. Let's do the next three together, James. Okay. All black women. So number 4, Athena. Number 5, Mercedes Moné. Number 6, Jade Cargill. All right. So perhaps someone will have to explain to me. I know Mercedes Moné.
She's been back for like a month. She's been back for like a month.
She's been back a month. I led to believe this. They did not mark dates of delineation, but we can look over the past 12 months. You would have to explain to me how Mercedes would not even be higher than Javon Evans, Obafemi, Trick Williams. What are we doing? Look,
when is the start of this cutoff date?
This is a very WWE leaning list. Did we not give that one away or
PWI? Okay. So, Rich, my question for you is this, right? When was the start of the cutoff date for this?
I do not believe it was listed.
Okay. What do you think?
May 25th through May 2025 through May 2026.
So you mean to tell me that included in this is Mercedes'
All In?
Forget the All In. I'm gonna get to All In because it starts for it. Her last year's Owen match with Athena.
Yes.
The Owen win.
Where she beat her.
The million belts she had during Ultimo Monet when she had the M crown. Her having that match with Toni Storm the rest of the year. And then coming back, and then maybe the cutoff is when her coming back. She did enough in this list where if Swerve is not mentioned on here, she should be number 1.
Exactly.
This is fucking nonsense.
Someone will have to explain Not only the Athena thing for me.
So my question is this, right? Why forget Jade Cargill?
Why
Look, why
is it because her name isn't Sasha Banks anymore, James? Can we just wake it up?
There's one more. There's three women back to back on this list, and Jade Cargill is on here. Meanwhile, she didn't have a better year than either of the two that are behind her. That makes no sense. You mean to tell me that Athena didn't have a better year than Jade Cargill in pro wrestling? You believe that?
Athena was in front of Jade.
Jade just had her best match, singles match I've seen of her career just recently in that pay-per-view with Rhea a couple weeks ago or whatever else. And we talking about like a 3 1/4 match.
I think maybe your thing would be Willow and Jade. They're like
Jade should be behind Willow too. You know this, but
absolutely.
Yeah. What do we? Because all right, bro. Did she win the Rumble? I forgot or something.
No, she was the champion the whole time so they could hide her because she wasn't doing no matches. Like, all right, man. So like, this is the part where we gotta like crack the list over our knee to where like and explain to people what they use championships for, especially in WWE.
And
they put a belt on people to hide people so they don't have to fucking book them in certain situations or make them lose.
Perfect example, right? How long has it been since Liv Morgan's defended her title?
Over 50 days. It was trending.
Yeah.
You tell me that's inherently more valuable than Willow Nightingale with the TBS belt and then beating Mercedes at the back end of that and then...
In an awesome match.
Okay. Number 7, Leon Slater. TNA guy. Looks like, could be on the open market soon. Don't know where he'll end up. Exciting, flashy guy. Yep. International training. Look, the best wrestlers of the future, now that the international training seems to be something that is more accessible for a lot of people. There are a lot of people setting up schools like AR Fox. Like there are, different ways to, get good. The best wrestlers of the future, if it reflects anything with sports, it should all be black. And if you look at it, we're going to talk about the next guy on this list that I'm going to name after Sol Ruka. Number 9, Kevin Knight.
So, I was going to say this, right, earlier when we talked about, when we were talking about Javon Evans. If Javon Evans was in AEW and we put Kevin Knight in WWE,
I think we'd be doing this.
We'd be making these same. Look, I think Kevin Knight is. I think that he is a better technical wrestler than Javon, right? But I think if you look at their standings in each promotion and presentation each promotion and where it looks like it's going forward over the next year or 2 or 18 months, whatever else. You much rather be Kevin Knight, and it's like the only difference is the promotion they're in. If they were swapped, they would both be in each other's positions basically. So I'm just like, hey man, like, hey, is Javon Evans in the right promotion?
I don't know. Like the taste of the list makers, perhaps he is in the right promotion, but. No, I would say
I won't even have the conversation in terms of this list. I'll just be like, hey man, like you look at it, it's like, hey man, that dude's gonna end up getting top 5 votes for most underrated in the Observer thing, and it's be like, all right man, we just did this shit with Gable in that fucking mask for the last half decade or whatever else, and now he went out and had one of the best matches in WWE in years, and now. People are starting to give him, and now they're going to give him a shot. Now that he's back from this weird, I guess you call it excursion. It's just a weird, goofy storyline.
Yeah, I got to say, man, we got that last year of like jet speed and then everything Kevin Knight has done as a single since. You got an argument for number 2 on this list, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, but, in a list like this is going to be hurt by being a tag team.
That's true.
This list is going to tax you for being on the tag team. And they will promote you for having a faction of heels working doing bullshit in your singles matches, like Jade Cargill having Michin and B-Fab. Crazy that B-Fab's the only remaining employed member of Hit Row in WWE.
Incredible. AJ Francis over Ricochet.
I don't know what he's doing in TNA, so I can't speak on that. I just know who I'd rather watch. I mean, you keep going. Lee Moriarty or AJ Francis.
Look,
who would you rather watch have a wrestling match?
I think the Ricochet thing is particularly stunning. Before we get to Lee Moriarty, the Ricochet thing is, Ricochet activates folks. We've seen the reception to him.
Ricochet, also, I'll say this, Ricochet got hurt by, other people that might be on this list. Hey, hold on. Speaking of that, hey, I don't know if you noticed this, but I don't see nobody from the Hurt Syndicate on this list. Yet I see that Ricochet is number 12 on his list, and he would be much higher if he had never done anything with Hurt Syndicate.
And that's funny. Did they tell them to take them off the list too? I don't know. What's going on here?
I don't know. My point is my point. People that should be on this list ain't on this list, and then Ricochet would have had a better year if he was never doing anything with these niggas that was on this list.
Look,
that's crazy.
These go back to Swerve's original complaints that were not just all about himself.
Them old niggas be having terrible advice for you, boy. They really do.
Let's see. I think I would rather watch a Lee Moriarty match, and I'm not one for arm bars. Charity King, I will take their word for it.
I don't think I've ever seen her, so I can't, or him, or I don't know, or them. I've never seen them before, so I've
never seen them before. Carmelo Hayes, I think I would take him. Wasn't he the U.S. champion and had all those matches?
Oh, man. Melo's good. Melo's better than Trick. Melo's better than Trick, but the whole NXT run was about we know you're better than Trick, but we know that Trick got this thing that you might not necessarily have. I think Carmelo does have it, just he's not big. He's not, size wise for WWE, so they're not going to run with it. But yeah, man,
number 16, Kalani Jordan, huge potential for her. Very athletic.
I like her.
Yeah. All right, now we are getting on to some. Okay, number 7, Darius Carter. All right, no, I refuse. This is where
you got to put it up on the screen.
This is where. See, James, I'm fortunate to be friends with people that I don't have to cap for. And I think perhaps, when we talking about somebody with a 5.33 on Cage Match, right?
Go to the match guide. I think that's more important than
Let's get the match guide going. I got one single match on here, James, that has a rating on here. And I don't know.
Wrestling at, though?
Let's see. Let's go to the most recent listings. So,
already getting booked.
East Coast Wrestling Association, Ashe Wrestling, Enjoy Wrestling, Impact Zone Wrestling, Pro Wrestling Magic. Looks like a lot of New Jersey, North Carolina, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
American Championship Entertainment. Let's see. Recombination Wrestling in New Jersey. Shout out to JML. TWA One and Done in Philadelphia. Wrestling in the USA freelance show. Matt Pro Wrestling at the Italian American Memorial Association of Long Branch in Long Branch, New Jersey. I think we've gone back far enough.
See, that's the thing. This is one of those. Maybe they know something we don't, right? I can't speak on that.
Are these matches making tape? I'm pretty sure the Ashe matches are making tape.
I don't know, man. But what I would say is, for me personally, I would take on I know what I know, and there's a certain standard of wrestling that people like AR Fox provide, right? Whereas I'm not.
AR Fox not. Yeah. I was gonna say Darius Carter over AR Fox.
What I'm saying is, like, I'm not taking Willie Mack. I'm not taking somebody just that has no. People don't know. People that are somewhat tapped in, like me and you are. Like, I've never seen this person. They're on the indies, but there's a AR Fox, a Willie Mack, running around. I'm like, I'm not a Janae Kai. Like, I'm not putting that person immediately over them.
Red Velvet.
Yeah.
Ricky
Red Velvet
Saints
just recently came back, but yeah.
Royce Keys. Leo Rush running around still.
Leo Rush is a weird one though, because he's doing this gimmick and it's working, but at the same time,
why isn't Shane Taylor on this list?
That's a good question. Is anybody? Is anybody infantry on here?
Yeah. Carly Bravo's on there.
Sean Dean's on here, right?
As well as Sean Dean.
Yeah, that's weird. Shane's a good wrestler.
So once you get past 30, you're going into the indie zone pretty much, and then you'll see Myron Reed down there. You'll see guy with a WWE ID contract like Cappuccino Jones, I believe. He still has one.
Yeah, Dunkerton's on here too.
Shug D, 38.
Yeah.
Brick Savage, all the way down at 50.
Like another one we talking about, like there's a certain list of competency where like I'm not just gonna put you on here like or whatever else. Like Trey Miguel's another one of those. Like Trey's too good of a wrestler. You just be like, we're gonna put somebody on here that hasn't been on TV or quote unquote on TV. Like they're too competent as wrestlers for me to just put them on there and expect that to just hold. Like they better that dude better break through next year to prove them right.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of these guys, I'm not gonna mention names.
At 25.
I don't want to be negative. There's a certain, I would say handful of names that tend to
Cedric's 22.
That fills out the end of these lists. And
Ricky Saints, like, look, man, we've seen enough from Ricky Saints to be like, hey, he can have good matches, and that dude's one of the best talkers in the world, regardless of whatever they did with him in NXT.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, there's a handful full of folks that end up on populating the bottom of this list, and it's like, all right, man, are they ever gonna make this jump, or are they just filling out this list, or is these like,
I will say this, right? You see Maya World at 19. She's gonna be higher on this list come next year for sure.
Based on what we're seeing right now,
that's what I'm getting at.
Yep,
that's what I'm getting at. Hey, man, Knicks and Noel, they played that one terribly.
Absolutely.
Big fumble. That one terribly.
Big fumble.
Yes, Red Velvet's on the list. Red Velvet is number...
I think 26.
Number 26.
Shout out to Red Velvet.
Had some time off with it was a knee, right?
Think so.
Yeah.
But, lists are lists. Like we were saying, we don't make this to I figured
if we made a list, people could tear it apart too. Look, you can make a list and then we can come back the next week and I tear it apart the same way we tearing this apart.
Yeah.
There's no way to do this list. Like, there's no perfect way to do a list like this.
Yeah. But some of these are, interesting, to say the least. But, yeah, man. AEW this week. And it is... hold on, I'm getting...
This show was much better than last week's, I'll say that.
Oh yeah, I like this show.
This was okay. So it was weird. Like we had a show that was no. If anybody's knocking this show, whatever else for its quality, whatever else, they're insane. Like this is better than most pro wrestling television you'll ever see. So it beats the allegations of the normal forbidden door talking points of this discourse this time of the year, and we still got it anyway.
We still got it.
We still got it. We still got it.
Yeah, that's amazing. But let me see. AEW this week. I think can we start with like the hot shit?
It's up to you.
Can we start with the hot shit? Because like
it's up to you. Go ahead. Go where you want to go.
All right, man. Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay go face to face, and I think they did perhaps the best go home or hard sell for a match this year.
In AEW?
Like out of anything I've seen. Like
so I liked it a lot. I I think that Will Ospreay.
Will's got questions. Will's got holes. Swerve was incredible.
Okay,
I think.
Thank you. That's what I'm getting at. Like,
absolutely.
Swerve is locked in, and Swerve also did some, work shoot stuff, behind the scenes stuff. People were asking what does this mean or whatever else.
It could mean anything. I don't know what they're talking about.
But for the character, it works. It's perfectly in line. Like he's like of all the guys in AEW, he's one of the very, very, very elite best guys in the world. That like, this is my character, this is my motivation, and I'm really good at communicating where I'm at right now, currently in this promotion. And
using the past to do it.
He's better at this than all but like maybe a handful of guys in the world at any given time in the last few years. Yeah, so he definitely had the opportunity to do this, and he hadn't had much opportunity to do it in the last few months, and he was able to do that very well. Ospreay, there's still, it felt like Swerve was trying to drag Ospreay to greatness, and Ospreay he was throwing a lot of stuff against the wall.
Will is trying to make all this Death Rider stuff that he's carrying make sense, and also like palatable to people that are like, bro, what about like how you feel about this match? And then he's having like, I think we may have discussed this. Whenever you're arguing with somebody and it feels like you got to explain yourself, like it felt like Swerve was consistently saying, explain yourself to him, and then Ospreay was doing like this terrible job explaining himself through all this, trying to tie it all up.
Whenever you're in an argument and you're on the defensive, you're losing.
Yeah.
From a lazy critique of you don't care, you're not invested in actually who's right and who's wrong. When people start defending themselves, they're losing.
Yeah. So like Swerve tied up so many things from the past year, going back to All In, going back to the terrorists that the Death Riders were on this company, and his friendship with Ospreay, and just like the dynamic with these guys, it really works because the 2024 thing, the 2025 thing, and now the 2026 thing.
Of the promotion, and they've basically been away from each other for like, they're two of the three main characters of the promotion at this point, and they've been away from each other for most of the last year. And they did that. They had that All In match, and like, quite frankly, you think of how much more weight this whole thing would have had if they had just lost to the Young Bucks.
It could have even worked out better.
That's what I mean. They as you mentioned, like, this went over gangbusters, and it would have mattered. It would have felt like an earthquake had they had just not, and they had lost that match. And they were not eligible to have been in this position for a full year. It
felt for me like Swerve was so comfortable on the mic. It was almost like going in the booth and just like knowing you spit an incredible verse, and they were like all the punchlines landed, and then you just walked out that shit like, whatever. So let's see. Ethan Sabre Jr., will you give Zach credit once he delivers this 4.5-star banger, or will you only give Kenny credit? If so, tell him off, James. Love and appreciate y'all. It's not me. It's not me that would end up giving Kenny credit. It would be the world giving Kenny credit. You see what Kenny does in these big matches. Yeah, what opponent ever gets the credit in a Kenny Omega match ever?
Look, man. Zach,
ask Kazuchika Okada about it. Ask Will Ospreay about it.
Yeah,
it don't go down like that for the cleaner.
Kenny Omega and Daniel Bryan's the only two people that have never been carried in a match ever.
How it goes.
Not a point. But my thing is this, right? 4.5. They gonna have more than a 4.5-star match. It's those two.
But yeah, back to it.
AEW Zack Sabre Jr. What is the average star rating? Is it above 4.5? It might be. Someone pull that up. Someone pull up the cage match of Zack Sabre Jr. matches in AEW, and is it above 8.5 on average? It's up there, bro.
So this thing, like with Will, where he's talking about he had to let it go. I think it goes over like a fart in church. And I'm just like, and there was also something Will said in this promo that kind of went over not correctly. when he started this thing.
Yeah, they mad at him.
They are infuriated at Will Ospreay for saying he smashed his wife and to go
He
clean
said he
up.
smashed the life out of his wife, and I don't know if the people are upset about that or if it was a line about like I told her to clean up after, and I'm like, okay, so I don't know if this is people. I don't know if this is like Gen Z. We don't have sex brain happening where it's like, yeah, man, she probably enjoys having sex with her husband. Just a thought. So like, I understand that like that is light or that is purposely crude language or whatever else, but like he said he smashed the life out of her. He didn't say that he took advantage of her. Like I think people are being very precious about the way he described this sexual encounter, and I'm just like, I think y'all are being a little bit too Puritan about this. I think y'all are being a little bit too,
I'm not going to tell these people.
Sex is nasty and disgusting, and no one enjoys it. I think they're doing that one with this language.
I'm not going to tell people how to feel about it, and there are a lot of women that have reacted negatively to that, and I'm not going to step on that. But brother, I think he got a pop from the audience for kind of saying this.
Well, I mean, they'll pop. They'll pop for anything. So that's not a good.
He got a pop from the audience. I heard it. I don't know. I wasn't mad at him. I get okay. It was memorable language. Look,
but it didn't offend me. The people that are offended by it, I think they're being a bit too sensitive. Now, but I'm not being dismissive the way that Ospreay was on Twitter. But then again, like, I'm not Ospreay. If I had said that line and they had said I'm being sensitive, I would have probably told somebody to fuck off. Like, but so you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't me that said I don't like that line.
There's also this. There's like Will Ospreay. There are people. This isn't the most popular fellow in the world on the internet. So, of course, if he runs afoul of folks, it's going to be a little louder on his direction, and he's going to have to live with it. They're about to try to put the farm behind this guy, and he's going to have to be more conscious of people trying to catch him slipping. And right or wrong, like they caught him slipping this week, and you gotta log off. Unfortunately, it's just the way this thing goes.
Well,
because
Alex
people
Windsor did a few weeks ago.
Indeed.
So I think there's been a lot around people being overly protective about Alex Windsor over the last month and change. So I think that also could be a part of that too. And like, I don't mind people wanting to be protective of people they like, say, hey, like, where is her agency in this when you're saying these sorts of things or whatever else? And a lot of this could be cleaned up by if she went on Twitter account and be like, I popped, I like the line. But that's not there because she's been ran off.
You already ran her off.
Yeah, she's been ran off. But I don't think he's saying people that ran her off, but you know what I'm saying? It's like she was ran off, so when people don't.
Hopefully she didn't see any of this.
There's no way that this hasn't got brought up to her. Yeah. It's not on her desk. She's not aware of what's going on. So I think that this couple is getting some shit online, and I don't know how much of it is actually warranted this week, particularly.
Yeah, but this whole thing back to Ospreay and Swerve is like the whole thing with basically he was like, you got a trick neck. You like Ospreay is basically admitting to Swerve the reasons why Swerve didn't help him in the cage match, and it was like, yeah, he got hurt himself that night. And then like it culminates with Ospreay punching Swerve in the face because he's basically gotten to, and
blew his stack.
I've
never, especially after what happened with Garcia after this later backstage, is like I've never seen a guy get this much or physically get this much smaller while seeing exhibiting signs of having like a roid rage. Like he is blowing his stack while he's back to like 2019 size. I don't know if you noticed that he's gotten
smaller, but I don't think he's that small. But
I mean, I didn't think Ospreay was necessarily small in 2019. It's just he was a junior that was bulking up at the time. But 2024 Ospreay is that dude was like, okay, he's big now, but he's basically gotten smaller. And quite frankly, like Swerve has gotten back down to, has gotten close to what he was a few years ago in size. Like he's not as big. Like when he first came back after the injury, like he was. I mean, for him, he was gigantic, and he's slimmed down. I think. I mean, you talked to him. I've only talked to him twice ever, but like, I think twice, whatever. But it's like, it seems like he's made it just like I can't. It looks like maybe it's like I can't move the way I used to in the ring, and I now need to go back so I can do the things I want to do in the ring. But I mean,
I think for him, like it was like a difference between 240 and 230, where it's like just getting up and down, like off the mat.
There's always a tipping scale, right? Of like, hey, you can't, ask Anthony Davis, ask anybody that's a skinny dude. You got to put on weight to do whatever sport you want to do or whatever else, and then you put on too much weight. Now you got to like realize, oh, I can't move like I used to. Oh, now my joints are a problem. Yeah, that is the trying to find the optimum weight for you as an athlete is an important thing in sport. In pro wrestling is an athletic endeavor.
Yeah, it's almost like like you've been in the gym and stuff. Like when you're doing stuff on the ground, you got to stand up real quick. Like that's half of the biggest fight. Like when you're doing burpees, the hardest thing to do is to stand up. Right. Like so.
that's the thing about my back recently. Like where I haven't I think I tell you like I have herniated disc in my back and like because from deadlifting or whatever else. And so like I haven't since July last year, like it's just been a problem, and like I've realized like I have herniated discs, and like I'm rehabbing that right now. But like my main problem for me was literally doing burpees. Burpees sucked. Like putting my back in flexion to get back to my feet. It felt like a lightning was running down my right leg. So for me, like now I'm rehabbing it, and hopefully I'll be able to get back to what I was doing in a few months. Or I'm not deadlifting anymore, but my point. Like, yeah. Having to get back up is a thing. Getting to the ground and getting back up is a thing, and burpees is definitely one of them.
Yep. So, like, the whole thing there, Death Riders come to basically end the segment, which I understand. And then, Pac's out there, Garcia, Shafir, blase, blah. Swerve bounced. And then he was basically, hey, Ospreay, you've changed. Like, this whole, he laid Swerve that on him.
Swerve ultimately got his point over that, like, regardless of whether I win or lose, from a character position, I won.
Yeah, he's like, all this shit that, we was fighting for, you told me I should move out the way for Hangman Page. He's not even the champ. He's not even here.
He can't be champion no more.
He can't be champ. So all this was for nothing. Like, and then it's just like, he said the whole thing about the 6 weeks stuff. Like, I was at home for 6 weeks for fragile egos and stuff like that.
Who is he talking about? Why is that line here?
I mean,
is this a new workers' rights?
It could be anything, Now
I will say he has mentioned stuff like this or online on Twitter, right? He has, but from someone that does, if you're not following that, you don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I mean. Well, I'm gonna just leave that one. I'm gonna just let that one sit.
And my question is, I wonder if we're gonna get any follow through on this. I don't know. It's one of those things like, why is that line there?
I'll just say this. Matter of fact, there's some things I can't talk about. Let me just move on.
There's no point even talking about it. It's just like, hey man,
nope.
if you just
not for me.
If you just watching a TV show, you like. I know you weren't on TV for 6 months, but like, why are you mentioning you weren't on TV for 6 months? Like, I thought you just off TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Heyman Adam Page shows up next week and starts talking, like, there's not going to be a thing about him not being on TV. That would be like, it's part of the storyline. He lost, so he's gone, or whatever else. But like Swerve, he was still active, and they just took him off TV for 6 weeks. But like, if you're not paying attention, you don't. He took a drink while I said that shit. But my point is like, it's one of those things. Like, why wasn't Swerve on TV for 6 weeks? What the fuck's going on?
I wonder what Swerve did during those 6 weeks. It's just, I don't know. If it was me, I wouldn't have not put him on TV for 6 weeks. But I'm not a booker, so.
Sheamus Nova said that James will have. Hold on.
Or the shadow booker.
He said James would have done perfect burpees if Tam was in the gym with him. Executing burpees is the problem. The problem is I'm 250 at my lightest, so burpees I can do them perfectly. I can't do many of them.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be
do a 50 burpee chipper. Look, no,
I'll say this. Whenever, like, Swerve's promo performance here, I'll just say this.
He was great.
He approached this like.
Is he doing acting classes?
I think I don't know about acting class. I know he's done acting before. I don't know if he's done classes. Okay. But I'll say this.
Like
it's been a long time.
For a wrestler.
It's been a long time since they handed Swerve a live mic, and he approached it like it was the last time they were ever going to give him one. So
now, why would he be acting as if he's never going to another live mic in AEW again? That's one of those where you tell me something like, why would that be? Why would someone feel this way?
I'll let you tell it.
You're telling me something that makes me want to ask the next question. Obviously, it leads you to ask questions.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Like I just saw a really motivated guy go in the ring and do his thing. And perhaps
that match would be awesome.
Perhaps they should have always let him do his thing. What was holding him back? What was holding everyone back? I don't know. One day, I think we'll all find out one of these days. But in the meantime, we got Swerve versus Will Ospreay.
But Swerve's not the only one that we had these questions for. It's like Kenny Omega. We talked about it last week. Like, what the fuck? The last year and change of his AEW career. It's like there's a lot of things that are going on where it's like, why are what have been the main characters of this promotion? Why are there down periods or whatever else so few and far between and weird, and when you can utilize them better? Young Buck's another example of this. Why does it feel like every 6 months we have a question of where the fuck are like the top guys or the elite or the top guys in this promotion are? It's called in All Elite Wrestling. It's weird. Like
strange.
If like there's always something good happening at AEW, but it always makes you be like, where are the best guys at any given moment, and why are they off TV in AEW in the last, like, it feels like that's been the case for like the last 2.5 years or 2 years or something like that. It's weird. But basically ever since Brawl Out.
Yeah. But Swerve and Will Ospreay. Hopefully I don't know if they're gonna do one more thing before the pay-per-view or anything, but
it's because it's gonna be.
They gotta let, like, Ospreay's gotta he's got to get something, I think, because I think they came away with way more questions and answers for him. And then after this segment, Moxley basically, like, we gushed about all the words that these guys said to each other and putting this stuff together and people getting excited, and I saw Twitter going crazy during all this. Mm-hmm. I see those segment backstage. He chokes up Daniel Garcia because Garcia's like, "Hey, man, I heard you call him fragile or whatever," and then he pinned Garcia up against the barricade. Then Moxley came up. He's like, you feel like you're in control?
But the funny thing about it is Garcia is like, look at you, emotional the whole time while he hit up his walls. Like, he playing, like, why is the top babyface his promotion is going to be the main, that's supposed to be the main event of the biggest show of the year? Why is he getting mind games getting played with by someone of the level of Daniel Garcia? It's like, that's not good for business right now, I don't think. Like, it's good expressing.
It don't make him look cool or badass or none of that.
It's good at expressing where Will Ospreay's mentality is at his own point. Like, it's good from that perspective. But the question isn't that are they going to express an idea? Is should this idea be put out there for us to know, or should this point for this character be this right now at this particular moment? This is something that's better for if this was a couple months ago, not right now when we're 2 months away from this guy going to Wembley.
And then Moxley's like, these are only words or whatever. And I was like,
he hit him with that 6 and stone shit.
I'm like, nigga, like,
he's right though. That's the part that's frustrating. He's right. Look at you emotional. You're in the fight, bro. Will Ospreay, you're in the fight business. You getting upset by this nigga saying mean things to you. He's right.
But like, I hear that shit and I'm like, they're just only words. I'm like, these are the words that make people want to put money in their pocket, nigga. Like, What the fuck? Stop throwing cold water on this shit, Moxley. Go the fuck away. I'm tired of you.
Okay, so maybe you're coming from a different perspective on this. I get you're saying that he's shitting on that promo. I'm thinking like, why is Will Ospreay in this emotional state this far out? And like, how do I say this? I think that you are maybe your point is them doing this stuff with the Death Riders has weakened Will Ospreay to where
that has been my whole point.
Okay, fair enough. You got a point there. But my question would be, they could have done this without that, because him being this emotional, where he's punching Swerve and he's hemming up Daniel Garcia. That was not a thing last week. That wasn't even a thing with Ospreay last week. This was just a new thing that happened just now. Like,
oh, you out of control? Like, he ain't been like out of control before.
That's where I'm getting at. So like, why did they go with this decision today? It was fun, but ultimately I don't think it's a good in the long run for what they're trying to aim with him.
Yeah, because it would have been almost like, I don't know. Like, you know... Yeah, I don't know. I guess I hate to say we got to let it see it play out and how they do it.
We've been letting it play out since he came back with this shit.
But like, I'm like, 2 months out. There's a fucking clock above us all. There's a clock above us all, James. And that shit says Wembley Stadium underneath of it.
Not only are we 2 weeks out, whenever we figure out what's going on with Ospreay and Moxley, it will not be 2 months out. That is a back half. That is a middle of the year, back half of the year situation with Moxley and Ospreay.
I feel like I would be shocked if they're wrestling before Wembley.
Why is that still in the focus right now when it's like, hey man, get to that after Wembley. Put pressure on these points after Wembley, because what's important right now is this on final in the Wembley main event. Priorities. I think the priorities are all fucked up. And that's why you end up having, Darby Speed running a legendary title run just to get it back to MJF. It's like, what's important, what's most important? What's most important is X, Y, and Z. So we're going to focus on X, Y, and Z, and we'll get to the other shit when it's time to get to it, or never, because in priorities. Their priorities are all up in the air right now. They trying to do a million things with a few people all at once. MJF having a feud with 20 niggas right now while protecting his title. What purpose does that serve right now? He can't face all these niggas. He shouldn't have.
He's never going to face these niggas. Like,
he did that thing with at the open the show with the Don Callis family, with Fletcher and Andrade and who else was it?
Kevin
and
Knight.
Kyle, and it's like, and ultimately it's to pick a team to stop Mark Briscoe from getting his title shot. And it's like, you're never getting to these matches.
Like we can look at the clock. Like, there's a clock hanging above us all, James.
That is why I said to you beginning this, like, hey man, like, they got to figure out, or having their WrestleMania in itself is not bad. But once everything becomes a slave to, we have a show of the year that we got to get to, it messes up your storyline, the way you lay out storylines.
Yep.
And this is maybe there's been worse examples of it since we've gotten to All In. But this is very glaring that, like, they're acting like I'm not, that we are, as a person, so watcher, onlooker, and know these announced dates, and as every single week they tell us that Wembley is coming, I'm becoming more and more aware that, like, what I'm watching is literally just, it don't matter.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
What matters is Wembley, and I'm seeing you not prioritize heating up Wembley, and I'm just like, all right, we talked about last week. What's the ticket advance? Why is it looking crazy? Because you're doing shit like this.
Yeah, I'm
saying this while I'm enjoying the shows.
Yeah.
And I feel like an asshole because I'm like, I'm enjoying the shows, and I feel like I'm a complainer, but like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I look, I could come on here and say it's sunshine and rainbows, all right? And I could say that I don't see, like, what's around the corner, what all the moving pieces are, and feeling like they need to begin moving those pieces, right?
Yep.
But I'm like, look, I would love to see Kenny Omega versus Tony Nese, right? But that's a clear flashing sign of what?
Because we're not talking. Because I'm assuming we're not going to give that much time or whatever else. Hey man,
bro, that's an ROPW match right there.
Rich, tell me why in kayfabe Alan Angels is better than Tony Nese.
Go pandemic, had everybody fucked up.
I tamed this match. I timed this match. You want to know how long that match went?
90 seconds?
A little longer. 1 minute and 52 seconds.
Woo! Look, man. I would have liked to see a Kenny Omega and Tony Nese outing, but, you know, when you got to heat somebody up, and it's been happening all year with these little short matches that have been thrown for someone who's going to challenge.
When Kenny Omega hit that V trigger on Sterling, I popped. I was like, "This is the V trigger I've been waiting for him to give Don Callis for what feels like half a decade now at this point."
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man.
I'm still waiting on that Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I think I'm waiting on it too. You know,
that's the only look. Kenny Omega has done everything I needed him to do as a pro wrestler in his career at this point. The only thing that's missing left is for him to give Don Callis a V trigger in a big match. That's it. That's it. Like if I get my Kenny Omega Kyle Fletcher match, look, match of the year,
points.
5-star match, 5.5-star match, 6-star match, whatever the fuck Dave Meltzer gonna give it, match of the year, whatever else. Cool. That's almost, those two are so good. That's almost granted. What really matters to me though. Am I gonna get the payoff that I have asked for years, which is Kenny Omega giving Don Callis a V trigger and taking that nigga off his feet? That's it. That's all I want. That's all I want.
Yeah, man, it's wild. What else happened on this show?
If I am promised that I get that in a match, I might fly out to that match. Whatever match that is, it could be Okada. It could be Okada in Omega 6. Whenever. It could be Okada, or sorry, it could be Omega versus Andrade, or Omega versus I don't know, El Clone, whoever you want to throw out there. If I know I'm gonna get that match, I might fly out there to be there. I just need that.
That's funny. We got Mercedes Moné versus Hazuki. Man.
Match was great.
Started a little slow. I think they were a little rusty to start. Like Hazuki has slipped on the ropes, but after that, nah.
Rich. Now I started watching Stardom in 2019. From 2019 to 2023, I don't think I missed a show. They were running 2 shows a week. I was watching literally 100 matches with her in them for the most part, except for the time when she retired, in that span. So I've watched at least 200 matches of hers, 250 matches, maybe 300 matches at this point, for maybe more, right? That's the third time I've ever seen her botch.
Yeah.
And that botch was literally smooth. She goes off the rope, she's going to bounce off the middle rope to go to a roll move on Mercedes and run through. When I tell you how good she is technically as a wrestler and how solid she is, like, the other 2 botches I saw her do was she botched doing a packed black arrow in the match where she won the high speed belt, and then she botched a move where I think it was like some top rope move. Basically, she landed on top of Starlight Kid's head. That's the only 3 botches I've seen her have in hundreds of matches. That's the level of wrestling we're talking with Hazuki, right? So she has this match, and I saw people when the night that the show happened, the rating that it was given. It started at like a 9.24 on Cage Match, and I was like, what? I watched the match. I'm like, this is a 4.5-star match. Why the fuck is this staying at a 8.9 on Cage Matches if it's some 4 3/4 star match, like a damn near 5-star match? I'm like, not only has Suzuki had better matches than this, Mercedes has a number of AEW matches better than this.
I think it had been what's up, Myron? Yeah. But I think it's been a while since we've seen Mercedes.
Is this better than
happy
the
to see her
match last year?
No.
Is this better than the Toni Storm match last year?
No.
Is this better than the Bianca match at WrestleMania?
No. It's not better than the third Statlander match either.
Now, move on to Suzuki. Is this better than the Hoshiki white belt match 2019?
No.
Is this better than the Kamitani white belt match?
No.
Is this better than the Mayu, the semi-main event between Mayu and the Grand Prix 2023?
Don't recall that one.
Is this better? Okay, is this better than the main event opening night of the Grand Prix when she beat Julia in 2022?
I think I don't recall that one.
Basically, what I'm saying is these are two excellent wrestlers. They've had better matches that are considerably better as far as bell-to-bell action or whatever else. I don't understand this rating.
It got that stage bonus. It got like
But what stage? It's a semifinal on Dynamite. It wasn't the main event or the opener.
But I mean, like, they got 22 minutes on Dynamite. Like, that's a long match for Dynamite standards. And also
for women, you mean?
In general, like definitely for women, for sure. And also 22 minutes, national TV, Stardom wrestler, doesn't really have that much exposure in America. Huge match for her.
But I can't. But this wasn't some blowaway wrestling. This wasn't. If you watch Stardom, this is not the best of Stardom.
I would imagine
if you watch AEW
in good faith.
If you watch,
look,
go ahead.
if said Stardom fans were acting in good faith and they didn't detest seeing her there in the first place or whatever, if they were watching this, I would imagine they would have been happy for her and be like, oh shit, they got to see kind of what she does or whatever.
I'm happy for her. When I first started watching in Stardom, I thought she was the third most versatile wrestler in the promotion at that point in time. She was born in 98, so she's only like 28 at the oldest right now, right? So like, I was watching 2019 and thought, yeah, like, she is a fantastic wrestler. Any position, she's an incredible brawler, and like, they were calling her just incredible striker, and I'm like, no, she's just a technical wizard. She's not like
this. Also, new fans that may not have, like, Hazuki is a different flavor than they were doing promo packages for Starlight Kid. They think about the women that they had. She's different than Sheeta. She's different than Riho.
Yeah, she's not some. She is not. She is not super small, but she is still small unless we're to like the big woman office is happening from Mercedes. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, the add in "we miss Mercedes" factor, like there's I think that's a lot of it, but like I'm not tripping over it. I think Dave ended up giving it 4.5. I would have probably said the same.
But my thing, I see.
But I think you're the match. You're saying the match of the year stuff. You're like, no,
the 4.5, fine. But my thing was seeing the cage match being like, really? They had a match of like, because my thing was seeing the morning it happened. The morning after seeing a 9.24 and being like, what? They did what? And then seeing the match be like, it's a 4.5 star match, and then seeing like where it settles at 8. Not obviously I'm being really nerdy about this. Seeing it at 8.9, I'm like, bro, this ain't no 8.9 star. This ain't no 8.9 cage match rated match. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Because the matches that I've named these aren't even like some subjective eye to beholder situation. Like, we've seen matches that are greater, better, mean more to promotions and to their careers on the stage on both sides for both of them. So why is this match going off the way it did? And honestly, look, I don't even know if this is their best match that they've had with each other.
Oh,
this might be their third best match together.
Look, there's also that to where like people wanted
they trilogizing it.
They want to be like, oh, it's just like the first one that they did.
Okay, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. But I'm just like, huh?
Maybe I don't know, but I don't know. It was
obviously the stuff
it was great.
I'm just watching like that number. I'm looking at the number. I'm like, that number's insane to me.
Yeah. I thought it was awesome. I thought like
it was, but like Look, man.
I thought Hazuki made herself a lot of money last night.
You want to see that? You want to see some real brutal Hazuki shit or whatever else, or the mean Joshi shit or whatever else? Go watch her match versus Julia in opening night of the 2022 Grand Prix. When she's out here doing that fucking huge dive, and then they out here having nasty brawls. I miss Julia. She's still with us. We still, you see her from time to time. I miss the real Julia. I miss the fucking war daddy that the woman used to be, man.
Look, man, Tam is retired. Shit, Julia might as well be too. Shit, crazy. But I think that's a good place to wrap him up.
All right, then.
I don't know anything else like really. Yeah. Well, we
talk about Moxie, whatever. That Dan Garcia and Moxie match versus Brodeur. That match was great. I enjoyed the hell out of that match. Obviously, it wasn't it levels. It wasn't as good as Hazuki and Mercedes, but I enjoyed the hell out of that match.
So I won't.
And it felt like a real Road 2 match. And also the main event, that was a Road 2 ass match.
So
the 8-man,
so check this.
Or 16-person tag.
John Moxley been doing these Continental Eliminators all year, right?
Yeah.
So when it's time for him to set up a pay-per-view match with these folks, he don't. Now, he beat Dan Garcia to be able to get it.
Right. Road 2.
Get him the fuck out of here, man. I'm tired of this nigga, bro. Oh, you ain't want to lose to set up the match? Oh, okay.
What do you want to... Look, we talked about this last time, right? Do you want to do another 20 or 30-minute draw or 20-minute draw? Like he did with O'Reilly and what he did with... who did he do? He did that like also the pay-per-view before that too, in a row. He did back-to-back time limit draws.
We could just give Bandito to win, but apparently not. So, yeah. All
right, y'all. Thanks for listening. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's it. Happy Juneteenth, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed me doing a show with this dang Koofy on all show just for y'all.
Now, normally I'm the one with the prop gimmicks or whatever else, but you had the full on hat. We are not above prop comedy on One Nation Radio. We are
at all.
Look, we might talk high and mighty about like people doing what they're doing in their wrestling, whatever else, but ultimately we come on the show and we give you hat comedy
gimmicks.
We be lazy too. All right, y'all. So thanks for listening. If you're watching from the stream, be sure to wait to the show note. Be sure to wait till the show is up. You can go to the show notes. And you can go to donate to the Red Circle from there. And be sure to listen to other shows on the network. Besides One Nation Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style, All Things Elite, Imps Adventures, Wrestling Out with Chris Things, the Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast, AEW Match Guide, and Joshi'ing Around. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Peace.